Hey, True Believers, England teen here with Back Issue Brain. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you're a little perturbed. We talked a
Slightly.
little bit. We talked about backstage. I didn't even know anything about this. I've been working on my Harley Quinn video over at Old Man Comics all day long. I was about to record some Spider-Man reviews and everything for the channel. Yeah, actually, that's it. Actually, here's my narcissism at play. I went to Comic Vine. I have an old account there. All these reviews that are going to go to waste and just go away. And I thought, you know what I would like to do? I love reading these things because sometimes I'm wrong. I know, right?
Sometimes
so I'm like,
he says.
yes, sometimes. And I thought it might actually be funny to read these reviews that happened at this point now, 15 years ago. So, and find out what I was saying about all these comic books and all these movies and everything. And if I agree, I actually gave a positive review to all new, all different X-Men. So there is gold in them bar hills, man. Seriously.
The one with the all-girl team?
I have no freaking clue at this point. I just saw the review. I didn't see the cover because when you bring up your own reviews, it just says the name, the number, and then your review. And this is, once again, comics 15 years ago, so I don't remember different ones. So, yeah, I figured what the heck. That's what I was doing all day, and I thought it might be fun to do that, considering if it's any success, I've got thousands of reviews on that channel. I was really someone without a life at the time. But
look at you now.
I know. Woo! I can stream every night. It's not that I don't have a life. It's that my wife doesn't care if I do anything with her. So it seems like I don't have a life. But anyway, apparently we have some things to talk about. The title, of course, is that DC Comics is keeping Harley Quinn out of the hands of children. We're going to talk about that. You mentioned the comic book industry going freaking nutso out of some Christians singing on a plane. I watched the video. If we could get any of the quotes, if we can get any of that, we're going to be talking about that. And basically whatever comes up. I saw the video as far as the Christians are concerned. And here's the thing. I think I would get a little bit, I don't know. I don't know how I would act. I'm in those situations. I'm very much a believer of you stay to your own. I'm going to stay to my own. I've tried to talk to people. They're always pissy at me anyway. So whatever. But here's the thing. We see flash mobs pop up. Or at least we did. And everybody's like, oh, isn't this fun? And isn't that fun? And they're over here. And this is basically a flash mob of Christian singers on a plane. And you know what? I know something about planes. They're boring as fuck. They're incredibly just dull as hell. It might be a little fun. It might be a little annoying. I could see both sides. What I can't see is going freaking nuclear over this, which it seems like Twitter already has.
What we don't know, and I don't know, it might have been a chartered plane of a Christian group that the video just surfaced from.
It's seriously 7 seconds.
It might have been, if it was something that popped up during a commercial flight, then yeah, I agree. I don't think that should, that shouldn't happen, because again, whether it's Christians getting up and singing or, Muslims getting up and leading a prayer that everybody in the plane can hear or anything like that. It's like you said, if you're with just a melting pot of people, just respect everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I said these same people, and it's only a handful that I know of, a couple of the usual suspects, but would Mitch Gerard have virtue signaled on Twitter had it been a Muslim group leading a prayer on a plane? The answer.
I sent out a message. Please share these tweets. I am blocked by damn near every comic book creator. definitely any of them that talk about politics. If they talk about Publix grocery stores, I may okay with it, but if they talk about politics, I'm blocked. Because unlike a lot of people who have YouTube channels and would talk about the politics of these people who like to share their politics, I don't really quote tweet a lot, or at least I didn't for a long time. Instead, in their streams, in their threads, I would go, well, you're a nut, you're a dumbass. And apparently, you know what, Kurt Busiek and Eric Larson doesn't like being called pedophiles. All right. You know, I learned, okay? It's something you live and you learn. So I can't find these tweets, but by all means, if you guys can and you could share them, please do, because I would actually love to go over these things and find out what they're actually saying. But to your point, why are you going after an entire freaking religion of people? Because these kids on the plane who, you know, once again, they look like they're having a good time.
Because it's an acceptable target.
That's the only reason. That is the only reason.
That's it. And it speaks to a larger issue. Again, I've been saying for years that the mainstream comic book industry has been trying to weed out anybody that doesn't have far left progressive views in life, and the people that work for them that are vocal about their politics. This is a way to help that along, because if they can, you know, if Mitch Gerard drove 2 more Christians out of the hobby, that's a win for them. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
You would think a guy that draws books for Tom King and that sparks his anxiety.
Yeah, Mitch Gerard's art is usually the best part of any Tom King book. I don't know.
I criticize his art, but good Lord, that is, if you are that fragile, then maybe just, maybe stay home. Put that third mask on, because that came up in the thread too. Someone was saying, "Oh, there's maskless people."
Oh, Jesus Lord, is that still a thing?
Of course, apparently it is.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm not asking like the crazy nut bars or anything. But is it really a thing? Is it a thing in your neighborhood?
No, it's a thing. It's a thing on the left. It is tied to their identity. It's the way they show that they're the good guys.
It's something, because here in Florida, we've been done with that shit. I'm granted, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. My daughter does. Elizabeth wears a mask anytime, anywhere. Of course, she's far to the left. We had a discussion yesterday because there was a protest on the whole Disney thing with the parental rights bill, and we drove past. It was big old MAGA, Biden lost, parental rights and such like that. Everything you ever wanted to say on Twitter was out there in that protest. My daughter and I drive by, and she just says straight up, "I don't want to talk about the don't say gay bill." I said, "There's no such thing. You're not going to convince me that it's good, Dad." So I talked to her about this. And you know what? I told her, I said, "Hey, look, you know who you are? So you're me, because I'm the only conservative with my mom, my dad, my brothers. I was the conservative in the family of whacked out leftists. And we're not whacked out conservatives, but my youngest is the only." I said, "Look, I've got great respect for you. Don't ever change because we want you to. If you find out the truth, if you find out, on your own, by all means. But I support the fact that you stand by what you believe. Just make sure what you believe is based on fact, not feeling." Yeah. Got my comic shop was wearing 2 masks this week. Why? I mean, we are absolutely over that crap. Seriously. The what was that last one? The Omicron or what it was? Everybody in the freaking world got it. We're good. Oh no.
Well, again, he's great guy. I work with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a man of the progressive left. And again, it is part of his identity. Now, he he also had a aged grandmother who recently passed, and his parents are immunocompromised. Maybe he thinks that he'll pick up something at the store that he'll take with him where he goes next. because I think he truly believes that, and that's fine. He's not hurting anybody, and he doesn't go around telling us to put on masks. So if he keeps himself, and I respect that.
If you want to do it, don't.
Yeah, and he's not pushy about it. He just does it.
Yeah, and also don't mention it. I'm sorry, but
he never does.
I don't think I've had anybody like I did have somebody mention it to me once. They were upset. We were at one of the warehouse sales. You didn't have to wear a mask if you didn't want to. And some guy got right next to me and started just mumbling it under his breath. Some people don't want to they want people to die, and the one's still going. Like, seriously? This is where you want to be?
Did you ask him why he was standing next to you then?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. I'm just kind of looking at him going, okay, whatever. I don't have the time. Yeah, I got too many years behind me and too few in front of me to give a shit about people like this.
Like I said, I've been working with this guy for a year now. And if he shaved his beard and came in without his mask, I'm not sure I'd know who I'm not sure I'd recognize him.
Oh, one of those, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but I kid because he doesn't put it on until he gets.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hey, good evening. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody.
Okay. God bless the churchgoers.
My anxiety.
I'm sorry. Shouldn't have mentioned
Are we on that topic?
We're starting off with the comic book industry going freaking nuts over Christian people singing, but I cannot find any tweets because I'm blocked by everybody. Do you know who I'm not blocked by? Alex Ross, who I shared a tweet about. What's his name? The Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm not blocked by Michael J. Straczynski or oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Nick Fury, 1960s. Awesome guy.
Jim Steranko.
There you go, Jim Steranko.
He's a conservative. I'm sure he wouldn't block you.
Well, yeah, but the point I'm going to make about them is that not Jim Steranko, but occasionally Bill might go into stuff, but mostly Bill shares his art. Alex Ross shares his art. Jim Steranko shares his art, says, hey, we're going to have a live stream. Come on over and check this out. Let's talk about this hobby that we love. Jim Steranko is the guy all guys want to be, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Total badass awesome. In real life. In his youth, did a great job. Stood up to Marvel and said, bullshit, you ain't paying me.
Yeah.
And got his money. Straight up, really cool.
Well, if you want, I'm not blocked by Mitch Gerard, so
share that shit out. Let's see what you got to say.
I will say, if I may, full disclosure, Ron Mars, his tweet did make me laugh, but I know who he is. He did a GIF of Belushi taking the guitar in Animal House and smashing it against the wall.
That's funny. Okay.
That is funny.
See, but yeah, that's the whole thing. If you don't like someone singing on a plane, I understand that. I get that because sometimes, have you ever had the person, have you ever been around somebody who absolutely thinks they're funnier than they actually are and just kind of drones on and seems more annoying than entertaining?
I usually say Aerosmith lyrics.
There you go. All right. Yeah, that's the kind of thing like these kids. I gave my love a cherry that had no stone. You know, it's obviously you want to smash the guitar. Do I follow Tomasi or Gleason? I do not, actually. I guess I should. Tomasi is freaking awesome.
Yeah. Well, Tomasi had a Twitter site, but they took it away from him and gave it to Mariko Tamaki.
Why do I believe you?
No. Okay, let's see if you can see it. So here's Mitch's original tweet.
Okay, hold on. Let me share that. Oh, okay. You guys can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I don't even have YouTube up, so I need to see if everybody else is seeing it. So we can go on with the share. And come on, you know I've got like 53,000 different things going on right now. And where is it?
No. There we go. I forgot I was sharing my entire screen, so I was checking YouTube myself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I can't even begin to describe how much I genuinely, legitimately hate this. My anxiety has been spiking ever since I saw the damn video.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody ask him why? Like, are you seriously that much of a pussy?
Yeah. Well, as we scroll down, you'll see a familiar name here.
Oh, okie dokie.
Well, you'll see a bunch of familiar names, but one in particular.
I don't even think of what is that? I don't even think of the religious angle. They
could be singing Springsteen, and I'd still want them arrested. Hell, I want the guy playing games on his phone without headphones arrested, and he's not even taking it to the aisles. So, I mean, my whole thing with this is that, okay, if it's a charter and so all these people know each other, then okay, it's fine. If it's like a regular Southwest Airlines flight, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of bothered just because it's a confined space, and you know, just be respectful of other people. You know, the sing, you know, whatever they sing, because I'm just that way on a plane. You know,
yeah, of course.
But
now
I also won't spurg out like this either.
Once again, this is also, we only saw 7 seconds. And what if they did say, hey, everybody up for a song?
Yeah.
And if they got a yeah, okay.
Yeah. Then he does this little, oh, is this the guy from CSI? Yeah. Yeah. And then here's some guy, bow tie, Zach 88, you know, with a little snarky comment of, if this were an Islamic prayer, you wouldn't be saying anything, which is, you know, true.
That is absolutely true.
That's been brought up. That was brought up before you came on.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Eloise, how you doing? What is this? People singing on an airplane? Yep. Rather, in all honestly, if it wasn't invited, if they didn't clear it with everybody, it is kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not questioning that.
Yeah.
Just the overreaction on Gerard's part, and some of the
here's Mark Russell. As a matter of fact, we were checking out some of the comic book Twitter talking about it. So what Mark Russell say here?
Just a matter of time before this is required on every flight entering Florida. Hey,
he's a dumbass. Mark, anytime. I put this out to anybody who wants to debate. Go right on ahead. If you actually think that bill says don't say gay, come right on in. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out to practically everybody. So, you know, if you feel that you have to say, if you have to just say gay, if you have to, I guess to abbreviate it, if you have to JSG and you want to come on and debate anytime, absolutely, I'm here, because I've heard a lot of stuff now, and I've been trying to stay rational. I've been trying to stay cool and all that, but it's I did lose it once, and instantly, you know what? I'm just here. I'm here
again in an industry that is shrinking. I don't care what anybody says. This is not as big as it was once upon a time. The idea of saying things purposely to try to piss off half of your audience. Again, it's, you know, you are trying to curry favor with one group at the expense of another, and you know that may be your personal opinion and good for you, but then set up an account, where no one knows that you're Mark Russell, mediocre comic creator.
Yeah,
and see if anybody gives two shits.
Can we get him to change his name? Because Mark Russell, to me, even though he was on the left, is always a really fun piano playing political commentator. I know for you young people, you don't get it, but Mark Russell, the new Mark Russell sucks. I want the old piano playing commentator coming back. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah. Sadly, R.I.P. Mark Russell.
So you know what? I still think he'd be more fun than modern.
Oh yeah, he's funnier now than this Mark Russell. But his PBS specials every year were like appointment viewing in my house growing up as a kid.
Yeah,
because they were funny and they skewered both sides. It was great. So I mean, here's Jeff Parker kind of just relaying an incident that he had, so, this is fine. I mean, good or bad. He says, I was on a flight once, the person who was sing along, it was more fun than this. A big all girls chorus was going to some competition, and the attendant led them all in singing, leaving on a jet plane.
Well, there's the thing. See, also, once again, had they stood up, because we only see 7 seconds of it, had they stood up and said, can we do, it's Easter Sunday, can we do a song for you? And then they, this land is your land, or something along those lines, a little bit more, even if you're doing a religious song, if it was something everybody knew, the song they were doing, obviously only they knew, because everybody who didn't, it was like this. But if you did something that everybody could get into, maybe it would be in a little more jumpy, but yeah. It's just a little bit this, but once again, if this wasn't cleared beforehand, they are kind of being assholes.
Yeah. Well, this gets to the fun part, though. I mean, here we go now. So, I mean, what the hell this means? I mean, still intrusive, but less concerning that one of the singers might have a bomb in their luggage. What?
Yeah, I know. What? We're going to God. We want to take you with you, just like all other Christian plane bombers. I think there was 0. Okay, yeah.
And then I think this is Jeff Parker trying to just get out of the conversation.
Here's the ending. You're a nut bar. Bye.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get down here where some guy named Old Man Ian says, I want to know why so many people are maskless. Like, maybe it's a charter flight, but I still think they have to abide by the FAA and federal mandates. And then Mitch says, I'm guessing this is multiple years old. So then it's like, so then why do you care? And he says, I think it's recent because of the mask. If you are visible, the mandate started early on, blah, blah, blah. Who gives an F? Here's the Ron Martz tweet.
That's funny.
Breen mentioned. And of course, you've got good old Richard Pace here saying, I was just about to post this very GIF. I'm sure you were, because you're a talentless hack.
Well, actually, he would have, but he would have done it 5 or 6 years late.
Yeah. Now, I am curious about whoever this was, because this is somebody that has blocked me on some kind of block list, obviously. And he says, brilliant.
Press the one that says brilliant.
What's that?
Press on the one that says brilliant. Just click on it.
It's Mildred Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read it's Sandy Corey.
Oh, well, that explains why I'm blocked, because he's a block list. Oh, there it is over on the side. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
this man is still employed in comics.
So people singing on a
wonder
plane.
Batman '89 ended like crap, because if he was the freaking editor of it, Andy Corey is one of the signs of the apocalypse of what comics has become. I mean, he destroyed a great comic pop culture website, and then obviously everybody knows how he destroyed Vertigo.
Oh, okay, yeah, that guy. All right.
He's a POS.
So this is traumatizing, but hiring guys that you repeatedly go after underage girls, that's fine. That's an odd.
Hey. He was being quiet on the plane when he was going after underage girls. These people are singing loudly about God. Okay.
Yeah.
Pedophilia, that is between the man and the child.
Then we've got some snowflake over here. I love comic books. Live a life that
not me. Go ahead.
And nonsense. And this would be weeks of trauma discussion with my therapist. I would have to immediately call my wife and then my mentor. It's like
these people cannot be serious. I'm sorry. Look, I understand that we are in a modern day.
I'm just wondering if he's like angling for a gig with DC.
Maybe. I don't know. Here's something that seriously needs to be said. I am not a tough guy. Never in my life. I mean, I've been in a few fights. I don't let people push me around, but I am not a tough guy. These people are making me look like motherfucking Rambo. How is this possible that men like this exist? And we could, you know what? We do need 3 genders at least.
Feelings are everything to this crowd.
Oh.
Being a victim is a virtue in this crowd.
Christian Taliban would be a
Oh,
great
let's see.
band
Well,
name.
that-
I like that one.
Well, that's interesting. So Becky Cloonan's using a block bot.
Becky Cloonan, what does she do?
She's currently writing Wonder Woman amongst other
Okay.
god awful things.
Yeah.
So this would be her tweet, but I'm blocked from her because I'm sure it's because of somebody wrong that I'm following.
I wanted to William Tell Twiddles off your shoulder in the last video. Sorry about that, gang. Yeah, I did post one, and right away, Twids tweet. What was that? It was the. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry about Twiddles. It was daytime. I'm trying to get more videos done, so I have to do videos during the day when I can't throw a blanket over and shut them up.
Yeah.
So
Don't tell me this is actually Gary Frank.
What did he say?
It says, "I'm not sure I want to fly again."
Well, good. Can we keep the Twids? Can we keep the rest of them off?
I'll just pretend he didn't say anything and just whatever.
Just say stay in the UK, you mediocre hack.
Well,
Now,
we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to close this subject
Okay,
up
he's not
here.
that mediocre.
I'm going to close this subject up here. Obviously, some people in the comic book industry are just, I don't know. I mean, why be like that?
Looking through here to see if there's any other familiar.
All right, it's not them you have to deal with. It's their wife's boyfriends you need to speak with.
Comic book guy is here. He's nothing.
There's Jamie Garcia, the one that does all those YA stuff.
Yeah, the horrible DC YA novels.
Yeah, it looks like one of them chimed in, and then everybody had to put up their 2 cents and such.
Well,
so
of course.
Let's move on. I'm going to shut off the light here and try to shut Twiddles up because he's getting awake now. And well, I'll be right back. So give me just a sec.
Shut off that light before I go into it.
Are you trying to head Black Cat off for the path?
Yes, I am.
Actually, that's wrong, but whatever. Okay. And such arrogance. There's no way I could be sitting at sitting in whatever.
Okay.
So
let's move on, but we're kind of staying on topic as well, because I just saw this article here, and it really sort of bothered me. All day long, I've been doing this cosplay and costumes and cosplay video over at Old Man Comics. It's Harley Quinn this time around. And I was looking for a topic, and I saw him Bleeding Cool something, and I was like, really? You're going to give her the Harley Quinn book? And I thought, if you do that, I mean, the only thing we know her from, by the way, is that freaking Eat, Pray, Bang book. Franklin writing new Harley Quinn comics for DC.
We also know her from getting people banned from conventions.
Okay, well, first of all, she's a straight up bitch. I'm not going to pull any punches on this one. I've seen all of her tweets. She tries to use autism an excuse for being a bitch, but I've met a lot of autistic people. Do you know what they're not?
A bitch?
The ones I've met anyway. And it seems like, yeah, she uses this. Of course, she's in a wheelchair. She plays every gosh darn victim card she can get, and she allows it all. It's like she uses an excuse for being rude and crude to everybody, and I find that a little bit disgusting, in all honesty.
Oh, I haven't heard the autistic. I know she's queer and she's disabled, and she loves to tell everybody that she's queer and disabled.
And yeah,
and a sex worker.
Before you go on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Yeah, I'm bringing that back, Disney. Let me introduce you to Eloise. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome.
Howdy.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just a bit sick.
Like sick as in cold, or sick as in?
No, like as in a cold, like.
Yeah, I was there.
No worries. Cough and hack all you need to. It sounds a little bit better than the bird anyway. So, yeah. So do you have at least 2 cents to put in about what we were talking about or about to?
I just started watching just now, so I'm not really sure what was happening.
Yeah.
But like I heard something about the Florida bill, and you know, like people overreacting over it and stuff like that.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah,
I'll give you the floor. You have, first of all, very happy to have you. I appreciate you joining the family here, and you know, I've said you're invited anytime. So yeah, but by all means, give me give it to me there.
I think people are overreacting and like to the Florida bill.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing that the media decided to run with their own narrative rather than actually read what's on the bill.
I do too, by the way.
And I think that misreporting is going to cause a lot of conflict, like unnecessary conflict that could be avoided. Not only that, but like there's a reason why there's like different states, and each state has their own laws and stuff like that, because like each state has their own unique situation that they're going through. Like for example, like I heard that like in Florida they've been having trouble with like human trafficking and stuff like that. Like,
oh, we're not having any trouble with it. It's going smooth. I mean, we're getting a lot of people through. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem that's going on there. So I think like that law passing could probably help like prevent that.
Well, one thing, of course, and this is the main thing I think a lot of people don't get, is it's not about anything gay. They don't want any teacher talking to or having it as a curriculum, because we've seen it happen in states like New Jersey, and it's not supposed to be a part of the curriculum. And
I wasn't even aware that was going on in New Jersey. It's only recently I found out, when like Jersey City, like the problem that's been going on over there is that like a bunch of these school districts, they've been hiring people from like other states rather than hiring from like the local area, and that's why a bunch of people from Jersey City, they were angry that a bunch of Californians were coming over, and they rather just have their own people teach than have like people who like they have different, you know, value systems or whatever. Like California is completely different from like New Jersey. Even, I know it's hard for people to believe because like since they're both blue states, but they have their own way of like looking at things differently. So like there's a lot of conflict going on like over there, like in Jersey City, and then because of that.
You don't want California values?
One thing that people are starting to wear T-shirts in Florida now that says like "Don't California my Florida." You know, I mean, hey, we are both coastal cities. For a while, we both had really, really strong citrus industries. You know what? We are far more laid back than those. I don't understand how they get so uptight. But yeah, you're right. It becomes ridiculous. You have people step in trying to put their values into a whole other state. But one of the things as far that does not get reported, like I said, is this is not about one sexuality. It's about the fact that none talk to the kids without parents knowing about it. You can't teach it as a curriculum. And well, I keep hearing, but nobody was. Yes, some people were, and it's happening to stop what's going on in, like I said, states like New Jersey. And there's another one that just, was it Colorado or something that came out with a new law or something. So this is happening. This is actually happening. But what this bill is really saying is, if any of these discussions, like if a kid comes up to you, you're a teacher, and he has a problem, you can talk to him. That's something that they're lying about. You can actually have a conversation with them, but you have to inform the parents that this conversation is taking place. You have to make sure. If you, one thing, of course, that's going on is, well, you could transition a kid without parental consent. Bullshit.
Yeah, I find that disturbing. Like
that's incredibly disturbing.
I heard about similar things happening like in California where I don't know, some kids in juvie, like they ended up forcibly getting hormonal injections in order to like control the behavior, and that was causing like the juvenile in the juvie system to like start developing breast tissue and stuff like that. So like they're using all sorts of like drugs to like, I don't know, control people, I guess. So I find it disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, just to be straight here, you are someone, as I understand, that hates the gay.
No.
Sorry to make you laugh there. I meant to make you laugh. I didn't make you to send you into a coughing fit. But
no, I'm actually bi, but like I don't really make a big deal out of it.
Nobody should.
To me, I don't really understand like why people make a big deal about it and all that other stuff. I just don't get it. Like that's the thing that me and like other people who are gay, like I don't really click with, being boisterous about it and flamboyant and stuff like that. I just don't really like that.
So if you go to the gay parade, you're not standing by the guy in the dildo suit, is basically what you're saying.
I don't even want to go to a parade, like, because it's that bad from what I've seen. It used to be like about like dignity. Like when you look at like old photos from the time when people were actually marching for their rights, it was dignified, and it wasn't like what they're doing now, where they're bringing like the bedroom outside onto the street, and that's the thing that disturbs me. I mean, they can call me a prude all they want, but like I think that there are just some things that need to be left private.
I get that.
I mean, I look at, the bottom line, I look at this bill in general, and I think back, it's like, tell me again why we can't have teachers teaching the way it was when I was 5 and 6 years old. I mean, 40 odd years ago. I don't ever recall, in the middle of the lesson, like, okay, hey, let's learn our addition tables, and 2 + 2 is 4. Oh, that reminds me of, last weekend when my boyfriend and we went on a double date with 2 friends, and we did X, Y, and Z. No, teachers never talked about this stuff. I mean, at most, growing up, it might have been, no, stuff never came up unless maybe, the husband or boyfriend, dropped something off at school and walked into the classroom, and then, it would be, oh yeah, kids, this is so-and-so. Oh, okay.
Well, and here's the thing.
That's fine. And
it should be okay. And yes, of course, if conversation comes up and the guy says that, well, me and my husband, and and I know, by the way, if you watched or used to watch JSG, that was one of his problems, because some of the language is vague enough that he thinks that that's going to be a problem. However, if you read the letter of the law, it's not a problem. It's the curriculum. You cannot be teaching it as how they are, like I said, in Colorado. But yes, you can mention that, yes, me and my husband did this, or me and my wife did this, or whatever. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. It's when you are talking to the student and you say, wow, you like to play with Mego action figures? They're not really action figures. They're more like dolls. You should get your penis cut off. That is the conversation that they want to avoid and such like that. So
yeah,
that's what's happening with that.
just in general, I mean, again, what's happened is you just have a generation of activists that have become teachers, and you know, it's ruined. And as far as I'm concerned, it's ruined the industry. Yeah,
and
I mean,
we see it everywhere now. I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a way I could steer this back towards comics. So, I mean, I like talking about it, and by all means, Eloise, you're always welcome to talk about. Oh, hey,
yeah. Well, I would just say, I mean, you see the same activists are the ones who are getting hired to write the books. You know, it's the same mentality.
There's a volume 2. Is that what that is?
It has 12 through 15. They a couple crossovers with Super Team Family.
I don't have, you know, super villains, but I do have this instead, which I think looks a whole lot better.
No,
I'm gonna go with no. Not
Oh.
1970s DC modern Dynamite.
Okay,
modern
chat.
Dynamite's good, but
Chat, one for Red Sonja here, or 2 for super villains?
which one would you rather read? The supervillain Secret Society of Supervillains or the Dynamite Red Sonja? Yeah, that's the whole thing. So anyway,
just look over.
we were going to talk about this, Eloise, and feel free to join in on any conversation. You're here. We welcome you to everything. One thing I wanted to point out was we do have a new writer of Harley Quinn comics here, and it is T. Franklin, and she is just, as we were saying, she's very vicious towards basically everybody. I've seen tweets from her where it just seems like she's on the attack all the time. And the last thing she did was Harley Quinn, Eat, Bang. What was it? Eat, Bang, Love, Kill. Eat, Bang, Kill.
Sure.
This is the one where basically everybody's a lesbian. And they actually had, what was it, Vixen?
Mm-hmm.
In the car, turns into a giraffe because the giraffe has a long tongue, so she could presumably go down on the person that was in the taxi with her.
Yeah, on her disabled girlfriend.
No self-insert there.
Yeah.
So here's the it made me wonder.
That's the comic?
Yeah, that was actually in the comic. Yeah.
It sounds more like it should be a hentai or something, and like
that's
forgotten.
That's one of the points I was going to get to. Is Harley Quinn, because here's the thing we know. If like Tim Drake will never revert back. Iceman is forever gay, even though both of them, 30 years for Tim Drake, 60 for Bobby Drake, acted completely straight. They are now and forever gay. Fine. And they're not going to be bisexual, because especially now, because it's bisexual is not in. That is actually something Dalton's been saying for quite a while. Bisexuality is not in.
We like bisexual people kind of get hated by people who like aren't straight, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're not completely gay and whatever, and so they get attacked for not being completely gay or something.
Yeah, we don't like you either. Pick a freaking side of the fence, lady. Come on. I'm just kidding, by the way. But and also because it throws a monkey into the wrench of the whole 52,000 gender things. You know, it's one of those. But what was I saying? Yeah, they're as soon as they change a character, it's done. So my thinking is, and this is when that happened, as soon as I saw that article, T. Franklin, the way she was writing all of the female characters, the way they're writing, not just in the comic books, but in the TV show, Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn is becoming more and more adult. Even in the mainstream comics, they push all sorts of edges where they're regular comics. She's a villain in the Suicide Squad, murdering everybody. She should be a villain anyway, but they don't present her that way. They present her to the public, to the general public, as something the kids should look up to. Yet at the same time, they're pulling her more and more towards basically being a porn star. he pauses to see if anyone's gonna comment.
Nothing to disagree with. And
I think that has to do like with internet culture, like with the whole like whatchamacallit OnlyFans and whatever. So they're just grabbing whatever parts of internet culture and just like shoving it into a comic.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. I mean, Eric said was a couple months ago. I don't know if you remember this, but it really kind of stuck with me. That the reason why we're seeing such bad writing now is they're not writing as if people are talking to each other. They're writing these characters as if they're texting each other.
Yeah. But you were talking about T. Franklin, and since this came up in a video I watched today, not that it was any big secret, everybody hates T. Franklin in the industry. Even the rest of the diversity hires hate T. Franklin.
Yeah. Well, Breen, I'm curious, did they hate her before, or so have they always kind of hated her, or is it more recent? Because, and I say that because, so she first came on the radar, at least for me, like maybe a year and a half ago, where I started seeing a couple articles where, she was mentioned as kind of like this critic, and she kind of became like one of these, go-to moderators at some comic conventions for various panels. But at the time, and of course I never looked at her Twitter feed, but everything kind of came across as, she was relatively sane. And that was where I made the, kind of the joke comment of, oh, she's going to be Mags 2.0 or 3.0 or Vita Ayala 2.0, that she was smart enough to keep her mouth shut while, trying to get into comics. And then where she got what I'll say mainstream notice initially was she was one of the creators that had one of the pitches in the first DC round robin. I can't remember if it was the Justice League Queer or if it was another.
It was the Ghost one.
Well, no, that's this year. No, the first DC round robin last year, she had a pitch.
Yeah, it was the Justice League Queer.
Okay. And that was where, she started, complaining when it didn't get, voted. And then that's where obviously her real personality started to show up. And then basically got worse and worse. And what was amazing was as she got worse and worse, it seemed like she got more and more work.
Well, yeah, they're terrified of her at DC.
Yeah.
Just like they were terrified of Vita.
Yeah. Well, the thing that just gives me the biggest chuckle right now is with this recent DC round robin, when the first round came out and we just only saw what the titles were and a quick blurb, it was like, well, none of these are really great, but you know what? This Ghost Tour sounds kind of interesting.
I know, right?
And it won its first round matchup.
I'm on video saying I'm glad. Oh yeah, that looks great. I like that book. Then I found out T. Franklin.
Yeah, exactly. And then it came out of here's the creative tease, and it got blasted in the second round and lost horribly.
Nobody wants this, and it's not. And once again, I'm more worried. If look, we've had bad writers. We've had bad writers succeed. You know what? Can we trade T. Franklin and bring back Gabby Rivera? Could we do that, please?
I heard something interesting.
Are you joking, or is that true?
This year, T. Franklin's pitch was disqualified in the round robin because it was discovered that there were a huge amount of fraudulent votes that had her winning. Oh.
I mean, with an internet thing, I don't even know how you would do fraudulent votes.
Send your friends in, I guess. But
Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, I don't see that either, because you should be able to send your crew in there.
What I was going to say is
better.
Go ahead.
About T. Franklin, and of all the places, Richard did a video talking about her, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's probably the only person that actually reads stuff by Vita and Danny and T. Franklin and so on. He goes, said what she writes is terrible. Of all of those, she's the only one that actually comes across as a writer. If you read a Vita Ayala book, it's just they're just words on paper going nowhere. You know, T. Franklin may write a terrible story, you know, I mean, a terrible subject matter, whatever, but said she actually comes across as more of a writer than the other two.
Like she's actually got plot forward characterization.
Right? Yeah,
it's
just terrible, but it just all involves herself, as they all tend to do. But you know, hers. I mean, I don't know how you can differentiate. There's not a straight character to be found in any of their stories.
Oh my gosh! So, you know what? I was going to do a video on that. Can somebody block Wes? But I've got.
I really hate that trope, like where everybody is like gay or bisexual or whatever, like, because it just feels very forced. Like it doesn't feel real.
Well, yeah, they say they want to make it. My joke is they say they want to make it the world outside your window, but the thing is they need to move their offices away from the lesbian bar. I'm not saying there aren't lesbians or bisexual or anybody in the world, but it's the ratio is not that high, kids. And I'm not saying, and I don't see a problem with including a gay character, but can we either create the new character or maybe bring in one of the characters that were already established?
Well, as long as the industry only allows a gay character to be the gay character, what's the point?
And that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to that, is because they don't know how to. They don't know how to write a minority character, and the worst thing is when they give it to their assigned minority status, meaning you can't give a gay character to a straight man, can't give a black character to a white man. It seems like that person just doesn't know how to write that character because they only know how to do the surface level. They only know how to do the demographic. And ultimately it fails. He pauses for anybody. Okay. It sounds like they want an island full of
on Twitter.
Say again?
I was just looking, and darn it, T. Franklin's got me blocked on Twitter.
I've never tried. I probably am. Oh no, I'm not. I don't think I am blocked on Twitter with her.
Because I would just love to see her spurging out about, this, getting disqualified from the round robin for illegal votes, because I'm sure she's blaming everybody but herself.
Yeah, there's a problem. I want to bring up, I'm waiting for a file to load here. Because I'm going to read some dialogue, and I want to see if you can tell me who the character is from the dialogue. Give me just a second here. Because this flat out kind of ticked me off. Let's see. Can I find it? Is this the book? God dang it. I pulled up the wrong book, didn't I? All righty. I'm not going to be able to play my game here if I can't find it. Let's see. Where is it? Slow down. There we go. Okay. And, let's see. Let's see. But you need me. But you need, meaning right. There's no meaning here. You want to kill me because it feels good, because it was programmed to feel good. You just wanted some excuse to make you feel noble about it. Nope. Where is that? There. I'm sorry, but what I wanted to do was read some dialogue from the Joker. It is, I think I pulled up the wrong issue, but it is ridiculous how he sounds like a Twitter kid. They wrote it as soon as I read the dialogue, it was exactly what you were talking about all this time, Eric. It was like, are you kidding me? That you did this to the Joker of all people. I mean, he might as well have just gone #LOL. It was so sad.
Over Marvel, they have like celestial characters come down from on high and speak in hashtags. Because that's all they know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the book, but then again, trying to find a single issue that involves the Joker is kind of difficult. I'm like, did I read that in the Joker, or was it in one of the other
was a mistake.
1,000? Yeah.
Well, I
He-
mean, just think to yourself of like how many books recently have you seen a character go, "Oh yeah, this looks sus." It's like,
yeah.
what?
And it's not even it's characters that would never say that. It's characters who never would talk about that.
I blame Bendis. 15 years ago when he had Doctor Strange call somebody dude.
Come on now, you can't blame Bendis for everything.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
It's
kinda
easy.
can. I just did. What part of I blame Bendis was unclear.
Yeah, I can't find it, but man, this was so bad because he was like, "Oh my gosh, LOL, I cannot believe it." You know, it's just, come on, just guys, stop. Can we stop writing the freaking characters like this? Can you just find the characters' voices and write them properly? I need to save this shit when I see it.
Yeah,
Um,
Trusty, to see that you would have to actually read a Sunday newspaper. What is that?
I'm getting bad at my job because I don't save stuff that angers me at the time. When I first started, I would see it, it would be outrage. Let's make a 10-minute video. I've so lost the skill to do that.
Yeah, and I had no idea Sally Forth was still going.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, she's still going. I'm on the same thing. I used to read that because all women should. I don't know why. But yes, I used to read that book quite a bit. Gosh darn it, I couldn't find it. But god dang it, you guys got to. If I ever come across it again, I will show this because it's ridiculous what they're doing to these characters anymore. It's like, come on, there's a certain voice that the Joker has, and it doesn't sound like freaking Twitter. It's ridiculous what's going on. Okay, in that video that you saw, there was a picture of Silver Surfer and Dr. Doom talking. And he goes, well, people are leaving. I guess the pizza party is over. That's a line that was said between Silver Surfer and Dr. Doom. I guess the party's over. The pizza party, or I guess the pizza party is finished. Either two of those lines would not fit in the mouths of either of those characters. This is not neither one of those would say anything like that.
What was that from?
I don't know. You and I both kind of dropped off reading new books too much anymore. So it's ridiculous. It just how they just don't do. They don't treat the characters properly. But here's the thing, and I guess I'll move on to the next. But wow, what? Just find the voice of the character. That was something I did say in a couple of videos long ago. Is right now you just have so many writers. It used to be a handful, but now it's more. By the way, all you people who got mad at me for saying we would lose this and it was going to get worse, told you. I freaking told you. I told you DC was going to steer into this harder than Marvel too. I told, what was that? 6 years ago I said that. There's no way. Did I hear about the Millie Bobby Brown? She's 18 and I think is mad people look at her like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If you think about the way she would see this, Millie Brown, she came out and she said that since she turned 18, she's kind of sickened by what she hears about herself, what she sees. And yeah, I get that. I absolutely understand that. You got to figure she's been, it's kind of like the Olsen twins. When they were about to turn 18, there were freaking legal clocks. People were joking about, woo! Like, I didn't quite get it because I'm thinking, are you saying that you're happy it's now legal to masturbate to them? Why are you acting like this?
Yeah,
there's
in other words, she's the anti-Lizzo.
But she was so angered. She posted a picture of herself in a dress cut up between the legs and a bra top. and then complained that people were looking at her. Yeah, it's calculated, obviously. It's
Yeah, well, that is ridiculously stupid, and yeah, that's a different thing. I can understand. Okay, then let me change the subject of what I was talking about. A young girl coming up through Hollywood, Emma Watson would be, or she would be a good example of it. All of a sudden, you do have pervs who are happy that she's 18, like they're ever going to have a chance with her. So ultimately, it's exactly what I was talking about. These guys who do this, these guys who talk about this kind of stuff, seem to only be happy that now they get to masturbate to this actor or actress legally.
I would think if you're that into that, you're probably more upset that they did turn 18.
Oh God. Yeah. I remember a definitely former friend of mine who lamented the fact that Christina Ricci was, oh my Lord in heaven. Yeah, that's definitely a foreigner. That's one you're like, yeah, you need to watch this guy. I have, by the way, zero to no sympathy for that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Except to say this. If you were to touch a child in that way, you need to be taken care of. You need to be removed from the sandbox.
Against the wall.
Yeah, I do not, and here's where my sympathy lies. You had no choice in the matter. Look, some people get wired wrong, and if I believe, which I do, that we are born with our interests, I have to believe that they were born that way. Through no fault of their own, they were given this particular disease. And I cannot go to any schoolyard, any playground, and point out to any child someone whose innocence I want lost, just in case someone we think is rehabilitated has a slip. I'm sorry. You got dealt horrible cards, but we have to remove you from the sandbox.
Yeah. Well, if you for some reason, if you ever find yourself where you're like, doggone it, I really need to get mad at something today, go take a look at the sentencing reports and the sentencing recommendation in U.S. v. Hawkins, which was one of the Jackson cases.
Yeah,
where
I've heard about that.
She sentenced. Yeah. I watched a video that went through and read through the sentencing recommendations from the state, which still was amazing. The defense, the sentencing guideline, and then just hearing those facts. And then 2 weeks later, actually right around when the vote happened, that her sentencing decision finally got leaked out, and reading her tortured reasoning on why she gave him 3 months was just beyond the pale. And
yeah, it really is. Let's steer this back towards comics at the very least.
Are you guys talking about the new judge?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about the new Supreme Court judge.
Yes. You know what, Eric? You and I will get together and we'll have because I do want to talk about supervillain team up. I really do enjoy this. But here's the thing: I not just the T. Franklin stuff, not just the fact that they're removing Harley Quinn from what seems to be family oriented at the very least. I mean, they're promoting her like that, and then they take it away. They've got her in High School Girls. What is that? The Superhero Girls, and then they have her over here.
Well, again, this goes back to the whole thing of there's no coherent vision at DC. So you've got one side, with the HBO Max, because again, this also goes to where again how small the comic book reading community is. But you've got a bunch of people that only know Harley Quinn now from the god-awful movie, Suicide Squad, and the HBO Max cartoon. And so they're going to see Harley in one direction, and that's the direction that the T. Franklin one is. And you've got other people that, are seeing a Harley Quinn character on DC Superhero Girls, and you're seeing kind of that direction. And then I don't know. Has she shown up at all recently in, I'll say, the mainstream DC?
She's got her own book, but it's drawn by Riley Rosmo, so that just repels everyone. Right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I haven't heard anything like recently of her like being in a Batman story or Detective Comics.
Last I saw
she
was
in Detective
Joker
Comics.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did. She actually a brilliant cover, by the way. Detective Comics has had some real kick-ass covers recently. But here's another thing I was thinking about going along with this is how cynical comics have become, how just dark, how we talk about how the fun's left, but I think that that kind of sums it up. It's a cynicism out there. Mm-hmm. That there's no fantastical anymore. We're reading comic books about people who lift buildings and who can run the speed of light or 10 times faster, and yet it seems like they're always trying to we're going to keep it grounded. And I did just finish this. This is a book I would love to write, and I understand, yes, it's already written. I'm not speaking that like I want to write this book, but what I'm saying is I've been plotting out a book of my own. I want to write it in this style. Mm-hmm. I want to write it in this style because I don't want it to be grounded. I want it to be weird. I want it to be fantastic. I want it to be something, because right now it seems like everyone is trying to keep their heroes grounded to the point, but they have no concept of what the world is really like outside of their own personal purview. So it ends up being over politicized. It ends up being just dark and a misunderstanding of what maybe other points of view may be. I'm sorry, Eloise, were you about to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna quickly say I think too there's a difference between grounded and traumatized. Like, I mean, I could make an argument, read Common America. I mean, that's grounded in a certain way because you've got real characters that are being developed, and so you're seeing the emotions that they deal with. But it's a great fun book and fantastical at the same time. So you can have, and you should have, the characters with the emotions, but what we're getting is just these trauma-filled characters that constantly get broken apart and never put back together again.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about many times, and the fact that they've been deconstructing these superheroes for a decade now. Yeah. Since the New 52 was 2011, right? And they've been on a constant deconstruction.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, as long as you have the Tom Taylors and the Tom Kings writing it, it's therapy. Mm-hmm. And we're getting their therapy notes.
On the other hand, Robert Venditti did just the opposite for Hawkworld. Hawkworld's freaking brilliant. Dan Abnett did the opposite for Aquaman. That run is brilliant. Tomasi built a Superman story that was all about who he was. Not they didn't break anything down to Superman. That was Bendis when he brought it up. We don't need Superman broken down for us. We don't need deconstructed Superman. That's ridiculous. And personally, I'm kind of getting tired of evil Superman too. Just gonna put that out there.
All right, so my internet's passing out, so I have to drop out.
All right, Evil Black Cat, you take care. All right,
take care.
Have a good night, Black Cat.
Later.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and again, too, you'd also argue too that unlike the book that you're holding up, the books in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, they're not writing for the widest possible audience. Everything is narrow casted. Everything is with their tiny little narrow point of view. And either you like that or get the heck out. Whereas you had, and I'm sure somebody can correct me, but I feel like you had normal people writing the books in the 50s and the 60s. I mean, you had, family, men. You had people who looked at it as a job. And so their goal was to sell books and to sell the most books possible.
Well, it's only been up until like the early to mid 90s, every comic book writer that came out, or artist, they had to grow up actually interacting with other people. That all changed when the internet got here. And it's just gotten worse with all the other forms of social media. You can have an entire adolescence without speaking to another human being face to face, or very minimal.
I know that to be true because that's
So-
Elizabeth.
So that, and now a lot of the comics, it's not about fun, it's about politics. Just like Saturday Night Live isn't about being funny, it's about reinforcing your political beliefs. It's the Daily Show. You used to be able to watch that even if you didn't agree with Jon Stewart. You can't do that with Trevor Noah, or it's very difficult, or John Oliver, because everything's about reinforcing a belief system on one side, and comics have absolutely fallen into that trap by and large. There are exceptions, and he brought up 3 of them. What they have in common is one didn't sell, one was taken from him and given to a hack, and oh wait a minute, no, 2 of them were taken from their creators and given to hacks. But yeah, I said it's there's, and I don't think I'm wrong about this. I mean, it's just way too many comics now. Or like I said, the son of freaking Superman, and he's becoming more or less an eco-terrorist.
Yes.
I mean,
still.
what the hell does that have to
By
do
the
with
way,
it?
did anybody watch the last chapter of the Tristan Eglantine debate?
Not yet.
I
Not yet.
flunked, by the way. I failed it because she literally asked me, "Where's the woke in comics?" and bloop, out of the brain. I could not. You can actually see me floundering to find something because she asked me, and I just couldn't. So I literally at the end of the video said, "Guys, put it in the comment section, and please do tell me where to find the Woken comics on that video because I don't ever want to freaking flub up like that again." I was so embarrassed that had happened.
Just always keep in the back of your mind X-Men Green.
Yeah, right. Hey, it's legal for me to kill you because environment.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's when you answer a question with a question. Where isn't the woke?
I feel bad for the dog in that story.
How are you? Yeah. Eric wants to know, did you bring me a sandwich? No, Eric. Oh, he's saying bad things. As a matter of fact, he's saying you should go back and get me a sandwich. Yeah, that's what he said. Not me. I mean, I would appreciate a sandwich, but I'm not. It's Eric.
No, if I were going to say that, Gail, I'd say, "Damn it, get me a sandwich."
Oh, I'm sorry. Eric isn't saying get me a sandwich. He's saying get him one. So, okay.
If I were to say that,
they are the world's greatest hot. That's Earl of Sandwich. There you go.
Yeah, I would just say too. I mean, the books that you're looking for now, it's not necessarily even indies. Although I mean, you can find it in some indies. It's crowdfunded books.
Yeah,
crowdfunded books now have the stories that you're looking for, and have the aspirational, the fun stories. And the reason is because people are going on it alone because they can't get work in the in the big 2.
And of course, we are also finding out that it's just they're being paid less and less. It's one of the reasons why we find out that they're changing is so the writers can get some sort of creative credit. Go figure.
Yeah.
You can't create Green Lantern. You can't get a big thing, a big payday off of that. So you create Jessica Cruz, or what's the other guy that seems to have gone the way of the dodo?
Simon Bass.
Yeah, the dude with the guns. I couldn't think of anything dumber than a Green Lantern holding a gun. When I saw that, I was like, "Holy crap!" My first thought was that's a Rob Liefeld creation.
He ended up being a pretty interesting character.
Yeah. Well, I've always said no bad characters, only bad writers, but that was a bad writer.
Well, and the original artist, I might have been Ethan. I don't know if it was he that did this. Put tattoos on him.
Yeah.
And apparently that's absolutely verboten among Muslims.
Yeah.
So they had to stop. They had to nip that in the bud. But yeah, the book, when Green Lanterns was Simon and Jessica, they had a good dynamic. And now I don't think you can even find them on the side of a milk carton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
it does point out too. I mean, it's a bigger and bigger issue moving forward, especially with the big two. Is unless they radically change kind of their pay structure and especially their incentive structure, you're not going to get good new characters now, even from good writers. Because why are you going to waste your best creation, your best idea on a work for hire piece that you're not going to be able to fully maximize if it hits the jackpot?
Now, not that this wasn't a necessary move, but this is the unintended consequences of giving creators a stake in what they create. Because I said when it was just work for hire and you got your paycheck, but what you came up with were properties of the companies you worked for. No one thought no one thought not to put their best effort into it, because also at the time there weren't as many options.
Yeah,
I mean, you had to go work for a comic book company if you wanted to work in comics. There was no such thing as doing your own thing yet.
Yeah, well, and again too, I mean, 50s and 60s. I mean, outside of the comic books, you had a Superman serial, a Batman serial, and then later 66 Batman, Adventures of Superman, and that was it. I mean, so in terms of thinking ahead, it's like, okay, they're making a TV show, big deal. It didn't matter. I mean, the comic book was the thing, and you can kind of understand that part, but all of that has changed now. And as I say, I mean, it's oh, sorry to hear that. Get well, Eloise. I know what you're going through. That I went through the exact same thing basically about a week ago yesterday. So, and it took me a good 5 days to.
Yeah, by all means, be safe.
So get some rest, get some good meds, drink lots of water. But yeah, it's something that I've kind of looked at, and it's one of the complications of people love a shared universe, but it's really, really difficult to create a new shared universe. Because again, it helps to have multiple creators to do that. But again, you get multiple creators, it becomes multiple issues. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, the Invincible universe as it kind of continues to go forward and kind of where that goes. I know some other folks are trying to, set the groundwork, for, a shared universe.
And God bless them, but I don't know that it will be successful. There really hasn't been a successful, shared universe since maybe the early days of Image. Now, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
I'm there too.
Well, and even that was, I mean, limited in respects, and that had plenty of its own issues.
Now, okay, Marvel and DC, and DC all the way up to Flashpoint, and Marvel for about 5 or 6 years, from 2005 to 2010. There weren't any new great characters being created, but there was a hell of a lineup of creators that were doing great things with the existing characters, proving it could still be done. But now almost all those guys are gone, and the few that are left, listen, when Greg Pak became Asian writer Greg Pak, any incentive to do anything worth a damn must have gone with him, because he's a shell of his former self. Jason Aaron is way more missed than hit.
Take care of yourself, Eloise. Yep. We understand. Get better. You're invited. I have an open door. Anytime you want to step on, you're always invited in. Be safe.
Yeah, definitely. Please come back when you're feeling better.
And that's the problem. So when you go from Ed Brubaker, caliber writers to Vita Ayala caliber writers, or Steve Orlando, or Cy Spurrier. So it's just Mark Russell. You're not going to get the same results.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just going to finish up too, and more importantly too, what you've seen so often now is this new generation of writers. It's all, I hate using the term, but it's all fan fiction. All they want to do is go back and tell their version of an old story.
Mm-hmm. That's
even if it's their own story.
Yeah, we're
like Greg Pak.
Yeah, aren't they now on their 4th version of Planet Hulk, World War Hulk? Didn't they have World War Hulk, World War Hulks, and then it was World War She-Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that went anywhere, but yeah, they did go back and do another, Planet Hulk, World War Hulk.
Yeah, come on, gang. Dude, Civil War II. They're doing Super Skrulls. No, the Secret War.
They canceled that. Back. It was Secret Invasion, and they canceled it.
Good,
but they hired the Squirrel Girl writer to do it.
Yeah.
So how good was it going to be?
No, there you go.
Oh yeah, it was going to be terrible. Because he's terrible.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. I need to catch up with the Silver Surfer Reborn, but I mean, it's so funny, seeing the classic guys that are still around now are basically, going and writing stories. I hate saying filling in the gaps.
Well, yeah, that's what's happening. That's how Marvel. That's how Marvel's getting us old farts.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do Wolverine as Patch. Remember that? You love that. We're going to continue it right where we left off.
But for the kids, we're going to have Patch. But for the kids, we're going to have him palling around with Ms. Marvel.
By the way, I was writing this freaking video. I told you guys I read every goddamn issue of that Ms. Marvel book, and fucking I saw it at freaking Wes comes up. Wolverine plays second fiddle to, and I'm like, God dang it! But you know what? No, he addressed it way differently than I did, because that first volume, I'm telling you, is everything wrong with what's been going on with modern day writing. It actually starts off good. I was surprised at that. I was surprised at the first few issues of Ms. Marvel, meaning of her existence, the origin story, and the first 2 or 3 issues of the series. They were good. They were strong issues, and I was like, wow, I guess I was wrong. Issue number 4, nope. And it was like on a consistent slide from there for the next 7 issues. But by the end, you have Wolverine speaking in text.
Well, apparently he's coming back to the new Ms. Marvel series.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes does a weekly thing of the best and the worst, and he does an X-Men thing every week with Doc, who makes me seem like I am the ultimate in good cheer. I mean, that Doc is just a ray of sunshine. He is.
Oh, Doc is
big fan of new books, huh?
Oh, it goes like this. Doc, what'd you think of the new books? I'll censor it. He goes, why do you do this to me every week?
Well, and more importantly, Doc is an encyclopedia of X-Men. I mean, that is his series and his favorite thing. And you slowly watched him, basically lose it each week as the X-Men has gotten worse and worse over the last year.
He came on our Monday show once. You may not remember, but he showed up in chat, and I said, throw him a link, and he came on one night and, exuded his typical brand of sunshine.
You know what? You gave me an idea. We can actually, you remember I did those, I do that. I'm trying to do one right now, as a matter of fact, where I record 1-minute reviews of everything. Mm-hmm. Here's what we'll do. We'll take the week's books and we'll assign them. You take 4 or 5, I take 4 or 5, and then all of us eventually will review everything. Yeah. So
Oh, great. Here's my review of Vita Ayala's latest issue of New Mutants.
no, I'm not even gonna shoot myself with a gun. It's a crossbow.
Okay, here's me mine. Here's my review of book A. Didn't read it.
Yeah.
Here's my review of book B. Didn't read that either.
Didn't read it. I know. I kind of figured you wouldn't go for that.
Hey,
I remember.
If I read more new books, I would do a lot more videos with you, Wes, Perch, all those guys. But much as I like you guys, not enough to read new comics.
When Jack was here, when Jack was part of this channel, we actually did that. We split up like about 20 or 30 books between the two of us to read. So he would get these and I would, but in order to get him to agree to do that, it was like, okay, you get Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, you get Mr. Miracle, you get Hawkman, and I'll take America Chavez. I'll take the Champions. You know, so yes, there was a reason why I was angry at comics for a while there, guys.
Yeah. Well, if we do it, I want a random number generator to make the choices on the books.
Yeah, you think that's a good idea. I say we pick it like a kickball team, because otherwise random generator might just go all the you get all the Vita Ayala.
Did you read Iron Fist 2 yet?
Not yet. Wait.
I haven't read Iron Fist 1.
Yes, I did. I liked it better than the first issue.
Really?
Yes.
So I bailed on about halfway through. I liked
didn't like it.
I didn't dislike it. I liked the scenes with Luke and Danny, but when it got back to the regular, so it's kind of like it made me realize how little I know about what this whole thing was about. Anyway, I mean, I liked the first issue
I know
because
nothing about what it was
of
about.
the respect she gave Danny. But then I thought, after I read that scene with Luke and Danny, I said, yeah, why am I not reading a book about Luke and Danny?
That is the big problem. I think, in all honesty, they should, if you're going to do this, as much as I like reading about Luke Cage and Danny Rand, don't have them in the book, because all they're doing is pointing out that there's a better character. There's a character we're more familiar with, the character that actually should have the Iron Fist. But I'm thinking they might be keeping the Iron Fist in there as a backdoor, because this kid might not work out.
Yeah, I would say maybe now this new character could develop into something, but it's sort of like if you are, it's sort of like having your girlfriend keeps bringing up her old boyfriend.
Oh, Gail does that all the time.
And the way
your old boyfriends,
and the way she talks about him just makes you feel so inadequate.
Oh no, that's not Gail. Yeah, not at all.
But it's like I said, it's hard to get interested in a new character, especially if you're an older reader, which again they don't seem to want anyway. But you realize that there are characters you'd rather be reading about. That maybe if that scene hadn't been in the comic, it might have held my interest, because I said a couple pages after, I was like, I'd rather be reading about these guys.
You know what? I haven't read Power Man and Iron Fist in a long time. Let me start at issue 50. Yeah, I get that. I'm having fun with that series. Let's see. What did I just finish reading? I finished reading. What did I finish reading? Okay, this one, the Project Superpowers was good. Astro City is freaking brilliant. I read the Iron Fist. Nice House on a Lake is kind of, let's get to it, guys. I liked it, but it was like, okay. The Patch, Usagi Yojimbo, always good. What the freaking hell did I just finish reading? Gosh, the bump up. Okay, that left a mark. Wasn't there a Batman book or something that came out?
It might have been. This might have been one of those.
Killing Time Part 2. Now the first issue comes out, right? This is Tom King. Killing Time Part 2. First issue comes out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the other shoe to drop, because Tom King has a way of writing a really good first issue, first 2, 3, and then he goes off the freaking rails. And so I'm like, this issue number 1, great freaking heist book. If it was a 1-issue story, that could be something. I would be like, guys, you have to check this book out. But he went and made issue number freaking 2. He ruined it by continuing it. And this thing is a freaking mess of time jumps. Oh, we're going to flash forward. We're going to flash back. We're going to flash sideways. We're going to just go over here. Oh, you remember that thing you thought happened in last issue? It didn't happen in last issue. And by the time it was done, I was like, the freaking hell happened? And I, in all honesty, halfway through it, I realized I didn't want to read it anymore. I was just forcing myself to finish.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Okay, go right on ahead.
For my wise comic book YouTube mentor.
Yes, Zach.
I said, well, why are there not more white people in? Oh no, that's that. If you know that, okay, I'm sure at some point in your life you stuck your hand into a live socket and got shocked.
Oh no, actually, I wanted to blow the power in a construction site, so I stuck a big piece of metal into an electrical box. Do you know that scene in the movies where the kid gets blown back? That happens.
Now,
it really happens.
But I'll bet you never did that again.
I never did that again. Yeah.
When you read a Tom King book, and then you read another, and then you read another, what do you expect to change?
Okay, now here's the thing. How do you think I buy these books?
Well, I'm more actually, it's more of a bit than a serious question.
Okay. Yeah, I get where you're going, but the thing is I don't look. Oh, it's an issue number 1. Okay, put it in the pile. It's an issue number 1. I've bought freaking Klugen books and all sorts of stuff because it's an issue number 1. I might actually do another review someday on my channel that I've abandoned for 2 months. So I buy a lot of issue number 1s without looking at the creative team. I just pick it right off the shelf, throw it in the pile, and sometimes it's the Eve, or it's Out of Mind, or it's the what was that one that I sold this week that I was telling everybody was good, that started with a B. Point being is sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's bad. It's just
point out real quick. Aqualad, most of us haven't done that. I just assumed that he had, and what do you know?
That is a good assumption. Good job on you, sir. But no, I didn't just stick my hand into electrical. I mean, if I'm going to do something dumb, I'm going big, baby.
Yeah. Now, see, it's funny. That's where kind of having the advantage of making this monthly DCBS order helps out, because I can look, basically, it's like, reading online previews. Yeah. And, going, okay, well, this sounds interesting. Oh, wait, who's the creative team? Oh, okay, pass.
Yeah, that is. And I haven't looked at because I had so many books piled up in my file. I decided I'm not going to pick up any new series for the last couple of months until I worked it down. So I haven't gotten any new books. I haven't looked at a previews, because looking at a previews, it's like, okay, give me more. And it's just like being a junkie, because, the heroin may have been so good to you the first time, but now it's just fucking up your life. And that's the way modern comics are. Comic books may have been good for you back in the day, but now new comics are like, I'm still buying them, but I don't know if I like to.
Yeah. Well, in Marania, I got to order your Christmas present.
It's the heroin, not the comics.
Yes, it's comics.
Yes.
Certain guy in red armor and his fiance Annual.
Yay! Iron Man's finally marrying Hellcat and Boris Karloff horror.
It's the furry cover.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you were part of this last auction, I have gotten a hold on some of the payments, and just want to give a heads up. Once it's cleared out, books will go out and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why PayPal is doing it. It's just That's what's going on.
Oh yes, Marania. I got to order that, and I got to order Iron Cat #1. So, just remind me in December. I've got 2 special presents coming your way.
Iron Cat.
Did you get to order Iron Cat, or did you have to order Iron Cat? Because
get half.
It doesn't seem like it's something that you should be celebrating, the fact that you bought. Hello to the Mr. Venkman. I'm sorry, Dr. Venkman. You didn't go through 4 years of doctor school.
Only 4 years. I felt like 12.
Well, did you have to wait an extra hour for that beard to fully form before you came on?
You know what? I had a beard today, and the beard just grew.
I was gonna say I haven't shaved in 10 days, and you probably did that in a day.
You have perfect hair. I have perfect facial hair.
Yes, you do. I have my mom's side of the family. I said, right. Actually, my dad's.
Mine too. No, just kidding.
My mom's side of the family, they had perfect beards. By the time they had their 3rd year in 7th grade. But
my mom's side of the family is buried in my backyard.
So I heard your guys are giving out heroin as gifts. So
yes,
sign me up.
That is the truth of everything.
Heroin. It's like super heroin.
Yeah. So and MK and Undead, yes, and I think the order I made is for either June and/or July books. So there is a mini series called Iron Cat, and it's based off of some story where Felicia Hardy got a set of armor from Tony Stark. And so Jed McKay is doing a 5 or 6 issue miniseries.
That was the Bendis.
I thought it was Iron Man and Hellcat.
No, it's two separate.
Two separate
books. And then there's also the Iron Man Hellcat Annual #1.
The cat armor originally appeared. I think it was Bendis Iron Man.
Was it Bendis Iron Man? I knew
Bendis or Fraction 1 or 2. Yes, they had
from somewhere.
So
I could pull up the blurb.
Do Tony and Patsy look into each other's eyes and go, "Iron, hell, iron, hell," and then recite bad poetry to each other?
Yeah.
No, he just sits her in the corner until she lets him speak.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, the perfect casting for an Iron Man Hellcat movie would have been Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but that ship has sailed.
Again, this is going back to how comics have fundamentally changed. If you go back to how they met, there's no way, given the dynamic of their relationship from the beginning, would she ever be able to treat him the way she does.
So my question is, if they decide to have a wedding between these two, is Damian going to come in and just start battling against Iron Man? Isn't she technically still married to Damian Hellstorm?
No, they got rid of that years ago.
Oh, they retconned it? Oh.
Yeah. So here's the blurb for Iron Cat #1. The Iron Cat armor made its first appearance in Black Cat #11, but both Black Cat and Iron Man thought that was the last they would see of it. If Felicia is surprised to see the armor again, you can imagine how furious Tony is. There's someone new in the Iron Cat armor, and they have a plan that will put them in the crosshairs of all the heroes of the Marvel Universe.
Is it Jed McKay writing?
Both Iron Man and Black Cat's secrets and mistakes are going to come back to haunt them, and it's going to get rough. Don't miss this fantastic new miniseries.
I guess
I believe it's Jed McKay.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot if it's Jed McKay. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm not expecting to be great. Although we did get to see a cameo of Tony and Hellcat in She-Hulk issue 3.
Does she have him like in a collar and a ball gag?
No, but they were talking over gushing over. She's like, Jack, because Hellcat's like, oh, Jack Hartsick. Well, you always had a thing for Jack. He's very cute and stuff. He's like, and she's like, so I was like, well, she's like, hey, don't talk about this because I won't talk about you and who. And they're in a hotel room. Her and Tony. Tony's just in a red shirt facing the different direction. You never see his face. As I was wondering, is he just told to stare at a corner until she lets him speak? But even Black Cat, I'm actually the Iron Cat.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Ingleton.
And here you go, coming out June 1st.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Like
I gotta get throw up in my mouth.
the Multiverse Madness that they have Iron Cat versus Iron Mouse.
Yep. No, it's spinning out of the pages of Iron Man. Hellcat travels to San Francisco to get her house in order. Only this house is an aging Victorian manor left to her by her mother, Dorothy. The house and its secrets will reunite Patsy with old friends like Hetty Wolf, as well as others she'd hoped to leave dead and buried. When a supernatural crisis arises, will Hellcat and Iron Man combined be enough to beat back the flames of hell itself? Dun dun dun.
I guess that it's if it was like not what's supposed to be like right now in the middle relationship, if it had been like, you know, it's like a kid's version, young adult book, you know, meant for kids, 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Then maybe you're right.
Well, yeah. Well,
If they're all cat people,
yeah.
I don't mind that. But
that is just the variant cover. So
I know that's the thing.
It's like not like that. So,
I wouldn't take it serious if it was a cat thing. But the fact that it's going to be a serious, actual, real thing, I was like, no.
Yeah, but I mean, why they chose to do that, I don't know.
Iron Cat will get help from Captain Carrot. Crossover event.
Yeah, if it's played for laughs, if it's played for fun, I could see that actually being
because
decent.
You remember that there was a Catwoman like from the Neo Gotham. There was a future cat girl or something like that. She had the helmet on, kind of looked like that too.
Yeah. Oh, hey, thanks, Rhaegar. I appreciate that.
You made a Meteor Comics sound like I can't miss events.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know what? I would actually like to see him kind of scaled down a little bit. I don't want another can't miss. Gotta get everything.
No. Trusty, no.
The new Foom.
that actually fits. Christopher Barker's doing some Goonies for us, and honestly, it was only a matter of time before Marvel made Cat People universe.
Yeah,
why not?
And hey, long time no see, Christopher. Hope you're doing well.
At this point, wouldn't they just be throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, as far as all that's concerned?
Aren't they already?
I think they already ran out of shit.
Yeah. Guys, Venkman's here, so if you want to keep the party going, go right on ahead. He just arrived. Y'all have fun. I have to step
I see how it is. I get here. You're like,
isn't that usually signifying that the party's over?
Generally, yes. No.
Apparently, I've been downgraded to Paulo.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But the thing is you can
something
shut the thing down. So you just jumped on. So if you want to continue the live stream, I'm not going to kick you off. If you want to, get in. But I would like to step off. Gail got home and
okay.
All right, now we're gonna start talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Fun times. Well, we've been around the political block here, but
I figured you had fun. I was gonna ask, okay, what's the bullpen points? You know, I missed. You know, as far as
give me just a second to do a see you later, guys. Tomorrow we're doing another open mic, or we'll actually talk about some comics. You know, maybe we'll do our own comic books that we read throughout the week, you know, or something like that. It'd be nice to kind of stick to comic books a little bit, but yeah, join us tomorrow, and then we'll see what's going on for the next week. Eric is like, oh, he's bouncing, so am I.
Yeah, well, I was about to do something there if Eric hadn't left, because I'm sure it's
he's still here.
Oh, I'm sure it's only something he and I would get. You know,
time for sports ball, kids. I'm out. Y'all have a good day. Do not crash the car.
There's a car left.
Yeah, do not crash the car. See you guys later.
Leave already.
Turn the party's over.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Are you sure you want to leave? I do want to leave. Why are you asking me that? Okay, I'm out. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Okay, Venk. So what did you want to ask?
I was just saying, what did I miss as far as the bullet points? You know,
of what
the last hour and 43 minutes.
Oh God. Let's see. Well, actually, we got an Aloe's appearance, which was really cool.
Oh, she popped on the channel.
Yeah. Sadly, she couldn't stick around because she's under the weather. So hopefully, when she's feeling better, she'll.
Well, you're feeling better. You must have given it to her.
Yeah. Yes, through the internets, that the internet cold. You know, so
Crap, I better put my mask on.
Touched on, you know, touched on the don't say gay stuff, and then talked about T. Franklin and her recent spurg out. Went over the Mitch Gerard tweet, you know, where he spurged out about, you know, some video. Yeah. And then, you know, talked about comics and the current state, and, you know, well, you know, here we are. So
what were you going to ask me? Is that only the two of us would?
Oh, you didn't hear me? You know, since he was talking about, you know, wrapping things up, you know, I started going, you know, turn out the light.
Oh, okay, so that was you're doing the Meredith bit. Okay.
Yeah, the party's over.
But with Venkman here, the party's never over.
Yeah, the party never ends.
You guys gone over what's coming out this weekend?
Hotel California when Venkman.
No, that's because that would spoil Tuesday.
No. Well, Tuesday I just got polls. I'm just saying I haven't. That's our top 5, but
yeah. Well,
we never go over all our books on Tuesday. What's actually coming out?
Yeah. Well, you know, and since E's gone, okay, so you liked Battle of the Belts too. I was left.
It's like I'm going straight to sports ball.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah. Don't spoil for the old man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to spoil things, but again, this is where I fault, you know, AEW. You know, okay, you've got Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle. Okay,
yeah, boys.
All the AEW marks know who Dalton Castle are because most of them were probably watching ROH, especially, you know,
new to me. Watch
when Dalton Castle was. But they did nothing to build him up. Any of the casual wrestling fans that came in had absolutely no clue who he was.
That's me.
Guaranteed. And so, you know, God knows what they thought of, you know, his whole flamboyant thing and with the boys, you know, which his thing's more of kind of an homage to like
the peacock. Talking about the peacock guy.
George.
That was
weird. Gorgeous George. Sort of thing.
Let me go.
Well, no. I thought Carol did that at the beginning of the show, not the end.
That was the end.
Was it the end? Was it always at the end? Okay.
Who's Carol Danvers? What?
No, Carol Burnett.
God,
I'm just messing with you. The Brie Larson movie?
Okay, a friend of mine is the biggest Dalton Castle mark on planet Earth, and even he was a little disappointed by it. Said he just kind of mailed it in.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine for what it was, but again, it was more of a match to just move to the plot point of, you know, having Jay Lethal come in and, you know, beat up Gresham, and then Samoa Joe comes in for the save and all that, you know, rather than really a focus on the match.
Well, that is unfortunate, but I'll tell you, I would still rather have just about anything AEW is doing than just about anything WWE is doing. Because, you know, Vince, now he's saying nobody gets to keep their name going forward. You know, the ones that already have them can, but, and just, like I said, it's in, you know, say what you want about AEW, at least you get matches that last longer than the TV timeout, which is all you ever get out of WWE.
Yeah, but I'd argue the problem again with that is they don't know which matches should last through the TV timeout, and the wrong ones usually do.
No, I'm talking about you get 15, 20-minute matches in AEW. When was the last time you got a WWE match that lasted longer than 8?
Oh, just watched on Raw the Cody Rhodes match. God, who'd he face? He didn't face Seth Rollins again.
No.
Can't remember who. Oh, Miz,
yeah.
Miz.
Yeah.
Did that go 9?
It went a little bit longer than that. You know, thing is I mean, there was some good stuff in you know, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, the giant mousetrap was cool.
No, not that stuff. I mean, honestly, the Brock Roman match was very entertaining.
I was a fan of the Stone Cold match.
Yeah, I mean, Stone Cold match was good for what it was.
For being his one last match, you know, yeah, you could tell he was not in wrestling shape. You know,
Yeah.
he's older now.
Well, and it
was
was
the one last thing, hurrah! And I love that Kevin Owens was a sport to let him do that. You know, humiliate him like that.
Kevin Owens is he's a good person too, and that's So I saw he did like a 2.5 minute PSA, you know, talking about the new T-shirt he had and that where all the proceeds were going. And yeah, so I said there's nothing about Kevin Owens I don't like.
Rhaegar,
not in AEW.
I wish he was in a little better shape, but
he never was though.
Well, and he never will be.
No, he doesn't have the body type. Just
really?
like Keith Lee will never have. You know, Keith Lee could work out every minute of every day, and he's not going to look like Powerhouse Hobbs.
No, and the thing is, I don't mind Keith Lee being the way he is. I mean, I've always been. It's no different than they had the Big Show back in the day. The Big Show would go against little guys, they throw them around.
Well,
but
there was a vision of the Big Show. That's the problem that Keith Lee had.
I like having it's like having the Big Show versus Rikishi, or the Big Show versus Mark Henry. That's why having Powerhouse Hobbs and Keith Lee feuding.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't my point. I was just saying that.
Well, I'm saying that's why I like
listen, Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen, if you want to keep it into, could work out 6 hours a day, and he's still going to look like he does.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just only so much you can do with certain body types.
But I do
obviously, he's also, I'm sure, never gotten into steroids or any of the other things that.
Yeah. I do.
I saw Billy Gunn the other night, and good Lord, he's my age.
Yeah, he's able to move around.
Apparently, he's still a competitive bodybuilder. So,
yeah,
I'm guessing he doesn't get drug tested.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that Keith Lee is able to move around, and they even comment on that too. It's like, oh my gosh. Well, yeah, and now he's on WWE anymore. AEW, they let him move around fast.
I'm saying for now because.
Well, yeah,
he could.
He is carrying way too much weight.
Yeah,
he is. You know,
does not look.
Who knows? Good. We could see a year from now him being in AEW, him moving around like this. Maybe he'll start losing some weight.
Well, I hope for his sake he does, because I doubt seriously if he's not taking care of himself. But again, some guys just have such large frames that, you know, it's like, you know, I pity him 2 years into retirement. I'm thinking I'm getting a William Perry vibe here.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Like I said, the biggest thing for me with AEW is the announcement team of the commentary. It's no matter who's wrestling, and I prefer it over than Corey Graves well,
you know, Excalibur is very good.
He is, and then I love it having William Regal come on there too. You know when Mox and Brian there.
I just want to see a William Regal facial cam. Just like put it in the corner and just watch that face he always makes, where he just smelled something horrible as he's stepping in it.
Yeah,
I would bring it back.
Indie Comics Jones. No, Breen didn't talk about him, but I did bring him up as a comparison to Dalton Castle. So there.
Sting came back. He's still wrestling.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. Dustin Rhodes is still
actually I saw he had a tweet. I guess he's facing CM Punk on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah, they called him out, and I was like, they've never fought together before, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they'll put on a hell of a show.
It's a bucket list, you know. That's what it is. It doesn't have to be the best thing ever. It's just like it's something for the fans who wanted this. You know, or Sting versus CM Punk. I'd want to see that too. You know.
Then put it on YouTube. Don't put it on.
Oh, you can just turn the channel off. You don't have to watch it. Just skip.
Okay, just don't delete your last issue of SmackDown, and you can watch R-Truth pin a fat girl for the 24/7, and then get attacked by somebody's son for the 24/7 title.
Oh God!
And then maybe if it goes long enough,
24/7 title.
And if it goes long enough, that's what Cody's going to be chasing in 6 months when Vince gets around to punishing him for leaving in the first place.
Holy crap!
A vindictive old Fool.
Every time I see Dustin though, he's got the same whatever baggy eyes, droopy eyes his dad had. So I don't know what that's from. It's
Well,
genetics.
he's 55 years old.
Doesn't mean he looks like old as his dad though. When his dad passed, that the droopy eyes. Is that a medical condition or it's just just us from in the ring?
Yeah. So MK, are you talking about the Road Warriors? Hawkins, I would say Hawkins.
Oh no.
And remember, LK,
Hawkins animal.
there's two kinds of people in the world.
Yes.
Weasels and weasel slappers.
That's the other thing too. The whole Chris Benoit, despite what he did, I still think he was a good wrestler, and it sucks that they struck him from the being he's never existed in WWE.
Well, I mean,
No.
Well, maybe to you and me, indie comics, but
55,
in
yeah,
a world
he
where
is.
you have to make a living.
55 years old. 55 isn't that old though.
Venkman,
not
you haven't
anymore.
seen me in about 18 years, and you tell me how easy it is to move around like that.
Yeah.
Breen, not everybody's built the same way.
Yeah. No, Ed, so far, I mean, Cody's been presented well in WWE so far. He's still the American Nightmare. He's actually got his theme song from AEW. He had a good promo the other night on Raw.
It's still going.
Yeah, he's still trying to do. Now his whole thing is gimmick. He's like, I'm the AEW guy. I got to prove, that I can follow the rules. I'm not the bad boy.
No, it's more of he came back to do what his father couldn't, which is win the WWE title.
Then he never wins it.
we'll see.
I can promise you.
At this point, he's going to have to go up against Roman.
No chance.
No.
Vince is not going to let somebody that left him to start another promotion ever get close to that belt. My bad. That title.
Yeah.
We don't say belt in the WWE.
Yeah. Really, where's your evidence for that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say something real quick. Indie comic, yeah, he can throw smoke, but when they hit him, they stay hit. He's given up 3 home runs in 11 innings, less than 11 innings.
Hey,
So,
don't give up hope yet, because I remember when Tim Lincecum came up, and his first couple starts, he gave up at least 3 home runs.
You know what the problem with that is, though, this year? Hunter Green is on what will go down as one of the worst teams in baseball history. At some point, even he's going to reach a level of frustration. Well, Tyler Mahle, one of the only pitchers they've got, he went out and got lit up like a Christmas tree. Did you see the thing I posted today on Twitter?
The
Reds lineup today.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Okay, 148, 129, 125, 087, 043. You're going out there and that's your offense behind you. Why the fuck do you care?
You know what's worse?
And they lost 9-1, by the way, in case anybody was.
You know what's worse?
Whereas I was looking in the first 9 games the Giants have had so far, none of the starting pitchers have given up more than 2 earned runs.
Do you guys get that the MLB thing where they blank out your home team so you can't watch it?
Oh yeah, those are the blackout rules. So if you
most local markets televise everything though.
Yeah.
Except for Friday
when
night.
I watched the Bird game today, you couldn't watch it unless you get AT&T. Yeah, MLB network. You try to pay for it. It's like they won't let you.
No. If you
the home region, it's like.
Well, yeah. If you're watching, well, like for me, if there's a game on MLB TV and it's the Giants or the A's, it's going to be blacked out, and I have to watch it on whatever my local station is.
Now,
here.
I was going to adopt your Giants.
Okay. The thing is, it wasn't on local though. That was the thing that pisses off.
But I can't. Not after your third base coach the other night.
No.
Did you see Mike Schultz's apology?
No, I kind of avoided the whole thing because I want to look at it at all.
He put his arms around him, like barely touched him, and you just look at his face, and he's like, "It really has come to this." And then I think I realized, I think that the Cardinals must have gone uber woke, and that's why they fired him.
Ron, are you still there? I'm just seeing a lot of the Slither Claw, MKF, and Rhaegar talking sports and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Good night, Joan Arts.
Yeah, but realize, Breen, if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have gotten a historic Major League first.
Which is?
You didn't see what happened after that? Who
replaced? Yes. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the Giants are one big virtue signal, and I want to like them because they had 4X Reds in the rotation last year.
Yeah,
but I can't do it. They're just between Gabe Kapler, not gonna say it to his face because he's built like a pro wrestler, kneeling for the anthem. This guy apparently calling somebody an MFer, it makes you racist. And like I said, putting a girl into minor league team did it the other day. It's just they're trying way too hard.
So real quickly, if you're gonna watch Battle of the Belts, you gotta watch the Sammy match. That was probably the best match.
No, I said they're a good team. That's it. But I just cannot stand the constant virtue signaling.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Indie Comics, Jones. Those are the city uniforms. Those debuted last year. They're an interesting uniform. I'll say that. I'm still annoyed that they put the name on the back of the home jerseys. So I loved when we were still one of the few major league teams that didn't put the name on the back of the home jersey.
Weren't the ones that they ordered with social justice messages? Didn't they show up on time?
Haha, very funny. No, thankfully, I don't think they've actually gone that far yet. So
they didn't call Minneapolis and ask to borrow the George Floyd mural. No, they've got plenty of their murals that they could do with their own. But let's see. Did you see the weird hit the other day? And the Yankees got no, I missed that. But if the ball hit twice on the bat, then that's actually supposed to be a dead ball out.
So
it went foul. The bat, what was left of the bat got out to the third baseman.
Oh,
it was weird. When he showed it in slow mo, it hit the bat as the bat was breaking. The barrel hit it again and knocked it foul. But
so this is kind of old news, but I don't know if you guys knew this, but for the Echo, apparently the show they're gonna come out with spinoff from Hawkeye, Disney Plus. They're gonna have Alakua Cox, but and D'Onofrio under the listing for Echo. So you're gonna have possibly Daredevil and Kingpin, in the Echo series, Disney Plus.
Excuse me, I have a question.
I didn't even know there was an Echo series planned.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
No.
May I ask a question?
You can ask a question, but you may not get an answer.
Sure, Zach.
Okay,
go ahead.
What the hell does that have to do with baseball?
You know what? You guys are jumping around. I mean, you ignored my wrestling comment and just started continuing to talk more about baseball. So I figured I'd just go start going random now.
Well, it's kind of become a random stream. So
yeah. Well, no, I mean, I asked you a question if you heard it about this at all with the Echo thing. Apparently, this is news from like back in April 5th. I didn't even know there was doing a spinoff. I figured they can do a Hawkeye season 2. But I guess costume designer is supposed to be like, who did for Daredevil is supposed to be on this Echo series.
Who's real happy about the Echo series, like I mentioned last night?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that has issues 9, 10, and 11, she's a beautiful woman from the Daredevil series.
Yeah.
I probably got about.
I need to go dig those out of the storage locker and put them in my file cabinet.
I probably got about 14 cents for those.
I need to go mug LK while he's coming back from the storage locker.
You know, his mother probably is in the storage locker.
Yeah, no, I had no idea those had shot up that far in value.
It's very recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ed
Well,
Bird?
Marani, yes, X-Men didn't have their baseball, softball, but I mean the most classic were the East Coast, West Coast Avengers baseball games that were in the annuals for about, what was that, 2 years or 3 years?
Two, I think.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun.
One year, I think it was one of the ones was when Quicksilver turned, finished off his heel turn, and then the issue ended with him at the top of a hill looking down at all the Avengers who were, together, and he basically was alone. I do remember that issue began with a softball game.
We're getting some questions from the chat. Edward is asking first about what we think about Halo show.
Haven't watched it.
Right. If you've never played the games, it's all right. I mean, it's not the best. I'd say it's average at most. It's not horrible, but it's a show you're going to want to binge watch because standalone from week to week, it just makes you like, oh God.
and if you played the games and love the games, the show will make you rip your hair out.
But if you played Halo Infinite, you're like, you know what? It's a little better than that.
Oh, when you said the Halo series, I thought I was about to mention when Mike Trout got hit in the hand with that breaking ball and had to come out of the game.
The only thing they missed that could have made the show better is having Beyonce sing the intro song.
No.
The Halo song.
Since we are talking
I
about,
thought Green was going to say talking about Halo reminded him of buying the one he might get soon.
I appreciate that you think I might head in that direction when the time comes.
But I don't, like I said, I mean, the big problem we see with Halo is not because it's fun with lore, it's the fact that he takes his costume off every episode. You never should have seen Master Chief's face at all whatsoever. They should have followed suit with what's going on Mandalorian. Keep his helmet on. If he takes it off, people can see his face, but we never see his face. You know? That's the biggest flaw I've seen, other than from the lore, but it's okay. I mean, if you've never watched or played the video games,
So, okay, I'll tell you, a couple weeks ago, we were going to lunch. It's me, my boss, and another guy, and the other guy brings up Halo, and Mark just looks at him and points to the back seat and goes, "He's gonna have no idea what we're talking about."
But we did get another thing we got question is from Silverclaw.
No.
What is your favorite sports movie?
Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, well, being a huge basketball fan, having family that was born in Indiana, the default is Hoosiers. Is a near perfect movie.
Pick one for each three of the major sports. How about that?
Okay, well, I was gonna say too, but I mean, in terms of favorite one, I also have a real soft spot for Blue Chips. And part of that is because of the backstory of how it was filmed. All the basketball scenes were actually filmed in Bloomington, Indiana, in Assembly Hall. And there are legendary stories. I should go back up. And so, I mean, what's really cool is if you watch Blue Chips, you're watching real basketball because they got recent college graduates basically to fill the rosters of the teams. And they actually got real coaches too. And I mean, and there's legendary stories, especially of when Indiana plays whatever Nick Nolte's university is, I'm blanking on right now. Knight took it seriously, and the fact that they were actually keeping score, and he was coaching as if it were a real game. And so that part is great. Baseball wise, Field of Dreams. And for football movie, I want to go Longest Yard, the original, but yeah, I'll stick with the original Longest Yard for football.
For me, for football, it's going to be Rudy. It's one of the first ones I watched. I can still watch it at least once or twice a year and still get a kick out of it. For baseball, The Natural.
Okay. That's a good choice.
As far as basketball, I haven't really watched many basketball movies. I watched Teen Wolf. I can't think of like any basketball movies other than Blue. I think Blue Chips was the other one, but what other High School Musical? I don't know. Never watched it, but
well,
what basketball movies are there though? That's the thing. I mean, Space Jam, but like, does that really?
Well, I guess there's the Fishy Save Pittsburgh.
I don't watch a lot of.
There's Love and Basketball. Shoot, what's the Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes?
Oh, Wait Can't Jump. Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be my favorite. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, Breen, you're up.
All right. Baseball, Bull Durham. Football. Yeah, I've kind of got like a three-way tie. Longest Yard, the original, obviously. North Dallas 40. I don't know if anybody remembers that one.
No, that I was thinking of that one.
And this third one's a TV movie, but Brian's Song.
Oh,
that was incredible. That's it. Back when TV movies, a good TV movie was as good as a cinematic release.
Yeah. Well, you need to have these near you if you're watching Brian's Song.
What was that one about?
Brian Piccolo in his relationship with Gale Sayers. Brian Piccolo was a running back for the Bears, and this was back when segregation was still it wasn't all the way done away with. So he and Gale Sayers became best friends, but Piccolo got, I believe, leukemia, and died at age 26, and it was basically the story of the last year of his life.
Wow!
And James Caan played Piccolo, and Billy D. Williams played Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
Gale Sayers recently passed also, but basketball, Hoosiers, but a dark horse that nobody remembers, and it was a movie that basketball was a backdrop, but it was more of a character study, more like that championship season where Robert Mitchum plays a coach of a team that had, like a Hoosiers team that had won a championship. And they were meeting for their 25th reunion, and it was how their lives had changed, and it was really, really good.
Okay, so Black Cat, you got any choices?
What are American movies?
Nope.
Okay, let's see. First off, MK, no, The Fan is a terrible movie. It is god awful. The baseball scenes are the absolute worst. It's so just, oh god.
What was the one with Keanu Reeves?
Unless you count Space Jam.
The Replacements, which was fine. I mean, that was a good movie. Slitherclaw, no, Back to School is for diving, not swimming.
Yeah, that was the one with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, where he was teaching the
What about anybody have a favorite hockey movie
other than Mighty Ducks?
No,
well,
gotta be Slapshot.
Yes and no.
Sudden Death with John Claude Van Damme.
yes, Sudden Death, absolutely. Thank you, Evil Black Cat. Yes, for multiple reasons. Especially being a giant Pittsburgh Penguins fan, watching that game and seeing it against the Blackhawks, and again, knowing some of the behind the scenes stuff with that in terms of one of the producers was the then owner of the Penguins, which is why they got to use the igloo and the arena and blew it up. And you got all the great hockey action in there, and you got Mike Lang doing all his trademark catchphrases. I mean, that movie is so much freaking fun. I love that movie every time it comes on.
I forgot about Major League, and only because you have what's his name in there? Is
Tom Berenger?
No, not Tom Berenger.
Charlie Sheen.
No, the announcer.
Oh, Bob Uecker.
Oh, Bob Uecker.
No, the reason why I said Slapshot, maybe not. Mystery Alaska is a fantastic movie. It's schmaltzy as hell, but
trying to remember what that one is.
But yeah,
Oh.
Slapshot would probably still get the nod for me.
You didn't like the Goon?
Yeah. So an MK, that movie is Black Sunday, and that is a fantastic film too. And what they try to blow up is the Super Bowl, and it's actually the footage is from Super Bowl 10. Yeah, Super Bowl 10, which was the Steelers versus the Cowboys in Miami.
8 Man Out was a good movie too.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
8 Man Out, Field of Dreams, and The Natural are my. I mean, every once in a while I'll watch Bull Durham's on on the TV. I'll watch it, but it hasn't been on lately.
It was on tonight.
Oh, was it?
Oh, it's one of the 6 movies MLB Network owns.
Yeah.
See, I used to watch my TNT dramas. That's why it hasn't been on.
Yeah, so there's lots of good sports movies out there.
And Major League is for just pure fun.
Yeah,
hard to top that.
Yeah, I mean, I always will chuckle at the fact that they filmed the baseball scenes in Milwaukee County Stadium and called it oh God, what was
Cleveland.
Well, I know Cleveland, but what the old municipal
stadium.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
always just makes me chuckle.
I was talking to my brother-in-law because we're listening to Bob Uecker on the game tonight. He's like, I said, look, what are you going to do when like he's not longer alive? Announcer, you're just going to like just try to watch it on TV? Like it's going to feel weird.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. No, and you know, sadly on the Giants side here, I know that's coming up probably in a year or two. Both Mike Krukow and Dwayne Kuiper have had their health issues. They're not traveling on a lot of the road games.
Uecker's been like ever though. Like I said, like this.
Yeah, he's I think he's 87. He'll be 88 this year, I think.
Yeah.
Still a spring chicken.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of bummed. I was hoping that I would get to hear him do a couple of the Brewers games when we had the free MLB extra innings for the first week of the season. But it looks like he only does radio. Yes,
Hardball. Diane Lane and Keanu Reeves. I knew there was one. I couldn't remember what it was called. He teaches the kids. He's a failed baseball player, and he teaches them these kids how to play baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's another baseball movie that nobody's mentioned here. The Naked Gun.
I didn't think you're going there.
With just some of the greatest moments in there, especially, I mean, where they do the whole, broadcast game. So you had, Kurt Gowdy and Mel Allen and Jim Palmer and Dick Vitale and Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Yeah.
There's still another movie that nobody's mentioned yet. There's like two more baseball movies that nobody's mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I mean, the baseball pairing with Brian's song is "Bang the Drum Slowly."
See, I was going for more like they said. There's the Rookie of the Year, which I'm not saying there's good movies. I'm just saying those are out there too. But I know that
I mean that's out there. Yeah.
But the other one is the Christopher Lloyd one.
The
Angels in Outfield.
Oh, that Christopher Lloyd one.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Paul Douglas, Janet Leigh one.
If I was your age, I would be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to go, way back there, is Fear Strikes Out, the Jimmy Pearsall story.
Damn, I was just gonna ask you if you've seen that because I never have. I've got it, but I've never watched it.
He's gonna be.
I don't remember it. I'm.
Do you remember who played him?
Oh, no, I'd be taking a wild guess.
Anthony Perkins.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then there was Gary Cooper in the Lou Gehrig story.
Yeah, wasn't that called Pride of the Yankees?
Probably. Yeah.
No,
yeah, I remember they had to film that in reverse because Gary Cooper was so right-handed that when he tried to swing left-handed like Gehrig, he looked terrible.
I'm not surprised. Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, they're right. I forgot about Benchwarmers.
Yeah, well, there's a reason you probably forgot about it.
Why does the Enforcer come up as a baseball movie? Was the Enforcer Clint Eastwood? No.
I don't remember any baseball.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just
in there.
the most retarded things they have up in there for Google.
Yeah. By the way, MK, I don't. I actually like baseball history. That's one of my absolute favorite things in the world. So I can appreciate the great Yankee teams, even if they were completely bought and paid for by a system that's as rigged as our current political climate. Hell, in those days, the Yankees had farm teams that would have finished in the upper half of the league. That they would, just like Vince used to sign wrestlers to keep them from going to other promotions. The Yankees would just stockpile their farm system with guys that, it said one time they had some like 50 minor league teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well there was the combination of that, and then they'd also take advantage of badly run teams. I mean, how they got Lou Piniella from the Kansas City A's.
Well,
back in the day, and
Piniella, he was originally signed. He was drafted by the Indians and ended up in Seattle, and then he went to New York from there. But the Kansas City Athletics were a de facto feeder system for the Yankees. When a Yankee was no longer of any use to them, they would ship them to Kansas City for their top prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And that system worked for the A's, because I don't think they weren't owned by the Mack family anymore, but because the A's have always had problems. I said, Connie Mack dismantled the best team in baseball, and then 60 years later, Charlie Finley did the same thing.
So, Eric Wood, Rocky I consider it's a movie with boxing in it.
Well, then you can say the same thing about Bull Durham.
Yeah. I mean,
Field of Dreams. All those.
It technically is, but
yeah, because my brother asked me what he thought my favorite. What he asked me my favorite baseball movie was, and I said, "Are we talking pure baseball movie?" Because if you're just talking pure baseball movie, it's probably Major League. But if you're talking about a movie with baseball in it, it's Bull Durham.
So, have you seen any of these movies at all? Like Moneyball or 42?
I haven't seen either one of those. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew the story. I don't know if I've actually really seen it. I mean, well, you've got Damn Yankees and which too bad he's not on here, because I'm sure he's probably watched and sung Damn Yankees.
I was gonna say that would have perked his interest if he was still here.
The Kid from Left Field, that's another one here.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, I loved baseball history as a kid too. I mean, I used to get there used to be so many just great books, kind of at a young age. I read all the Hall of Shame books that were just all just kind of weird, quirky, events that happened in baseball. Just everything else. I mean, that's also why I love sports games. I mean, my first simulation games were baseball, playing Status Pro Baseball and Stratomatic.
Mr. Baseball.
I loved, and again, just kind of reading the history of the seasons. I mean, I remember being just absolutely fascinated, by the 1930 season, because that was just the first great offensive season, where you have in it. Oh shoot, what was it? Who was the entire team that hit 300?
Morano's Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I think that's actually the name of the movie.
Yeah, it was on screen. Yeah, it's popped up. It was Take Me Out to the Ball Game from who was that?
Which has plenty of dance numbers. Good song, a good movie though. Liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, okay, but so one of the things I like to do is get books on teams in a particular season, which I don't think you'll ever see another one, because it's when everybody involved are multimillionaires, with the best of everything. It just really, it doesn't lend itself to compelling stories of guys that come together to accomplish something great.
Oh, he's you know they're okay.
Oh, I'm looking.
He's an OnlyFans.
Since he was mentioning books, I can't find it.
Thank you for wearing a long shirt.
Haha.
I'm being serious. I'm not a joke.
It's around here somewhere. But so have you read? So Breen, have you read Summer of '64?
So the David
Halberstam. Halberstam book.
Yeah. Yes,
yeah, that's a great one. I forget who wrote the book on 1906.
Haven't read that, but I've read several of his. I've read The Boys of Summer, and I think he did another one about the Dodgers too. But I've read several of his. Yeah, he died recently, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, now have you ever read? This was a satirical fiction book. The Sparky Lyle book.
No.
He wrote a book about something happens. He winds up being owner of the Yankees for a year. And it's a hilarious book.
I may have that upstairs, actually, now I think about it. Was it written in the 70s, wasn't it?
I want to say 80s because I mean that's when I got it.
It could be. I mean,
let me see if I can find what the name of it is.
I can't remember the author, but someone did a book about.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's the year I owned the Yankees. Fantasy baseball by Sparky Lyle and David Foster, I think it is. So and. I remember it was so funny too because I remember like one of the things in there is like 3 or 4 players get together and become like mercenaries, and they just go like from team, like whichever team wants to pay them the most each year, they go and play. I mean, it was a hilarious book. And so what? Let's see, what year was this? Oh wow, it says release date was 1990.
No, I must be thinking. Somebody must have written a book about Sparky Lyle because that isn't what I was thinking of.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wrote the Bronx Zoo. That might be the one you're thinking of. I mean, that's his more well-known book where he talks about the '78 Yankees.
And speaking of it, did you read the book that was written about the '68 season? It focused on basically the race riots and the season. It kind of half and half. But
no, I haven't read that one. I did read the other Halberstam book. What was it? Summer of '42. The Williams DiMaggio book. That's excellent as well.
Yeah, give me 1 second here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always loved just in sports history in general. But baseball just has a special historical bend to it. The game just lends itself to it.
Maybe we'll do our top 10 sports movies one of these times.
Yeah, we could always do that. Or throw it over on the Extreme Movie Show.
I have to talk to Rob.
Yeah.
I was looking for stuff,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna mention too. Waiting for Breen. I posted in the Discord. It was so funny watching an old episode of Wonder Woman TV series this morning. And it was one of the season 2. So it was when they went to the present. It was so funny seeing Steve Trevor in the IDAC offices. Yeah, it's plush pile carpeting, and the door opens up, and there's carpeting in the computer, the massive computer room. It's like,
what?
Yeah, that really is not a good idea.
You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want carpeted floors in a mainframe room.
You'll be fine. the worst that happened is that dust gets everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was actually a really good one. It was the one with Roddy McDowell playing the sculptor, where him and the other guy come up with the frequency that turns people into statues and freezes them. And had an Ed Begley Jr. Guest appearance as a young baseball player whose dad is a senator or some damn thing. So, yeah, people are mentioning Unnecessary Roughness. Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Oh, there's a new Blue and Gold book this week.
Yeah. All right, Bree, what you got?
There's the Bronx Zoo.
Okay. Yep. That's classic.
Yeah, so this is the book I was talking about. Tim Wendell's writer, Summer of '68.
Okay. No, I've not read that one.
Definitely recommend that. And the Boys of Summer, that was Roger Kahn. That's the guy I was confusing with Halverson, but yeah, the two that October '64.
Yeah,
and it was
very good.
It was summer of '49.
Yeah,
$8 at Price Books.
So
yeah,
that's
yeah. Those are fantastic books. I mean, especially how he talks about really getting into kind of the personality of Ted Williams in that, and the relationship there between him and DiMaggio. And
the other book I was going to grab there. Have you ever heard of the Continental League?
Oh yeah, actually, so it's actually funny. So there's a sports gaming company called Play, PLAAY, and earlier this was it part of their
No, a second. Hey, England Light, take me off of full screen.
Yeah. And part of their holiday sale was actually creating a continental.
I was gonna go with 25 cents, but I thought it'd be nice for $5 for you.
And part of the sale was actually creating a game card set for the Continental League.
But there's someone wrote a book on how close that came to actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the payoff was the Mets. Because it was used to bring baseball back to New York, and some of the deposed leaders of the old Yankee regime were in on it, and it was pretty fascinating. I didn't know that until recently. I had no idea how close there came to being a third league.
Yeah, I wasn't really too familiar with it until actually I saw him come out kind of with this, fictional card set, basically, of, kind of putting together players, that probably would have been eligible for it, and kind of just, making up, a fictional league of what if the Continental League had made it.
Yeah, it's just like the AFL. Yeah, I've read a lot. I've read a couple of books on the formation of the AFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's endlessly fascinating. How poor some of the teams were, and how some of them got dicked over. Like the Vikings were supposed to be an AFL team, but the NFL got a hold of them, and they jumped ship. Didn't tell anybody that they were doing it, and then that's the same thing. The Dallas Texans. The NFL came along and formed the Cowboys to stick it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's what the between the two leagues was very contentious until Al Davis, like him or not, Al Davis is the reason why we have football as we know it today, because he came up, he was an assistant coach with the Raiders, then a coach, and then he got together with a bunch of people and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sign everybody away from the AF or the NFL. And they went as far as to sign John Brody, a couple other guys, one of the Gogolak brothers. Mm-hmm. And the compromise was, okay, we'll merge after the 69 season. And that got Davis off their backs. So that's why we have Yeah, and they did the Super Bowl for the first couple of years before the merger, and so I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the ABA. I don't know. Have you read Loose Balls?
Terry Pluto.
Yeah,
Love his writing.
That is just a fantastic.
Have you read the Rocky Colavito book from him?
No.
About long-suffering Cleveland Indian fans? It's worth it.
I have to check that out. I know I've got a Bob Feller book around here somewhere too. But yeah, I mean, and of course, I mean the story, and I'm sure you know, bloody hell, not the Colonels, not the Squires. God dang it! Now I'm blanking on the owners.
You know what? Funny thing.
The greatest deal in the history of professional sports.
I'm sorry. What was that?
The greatest deal that's ever been made in professional sports. So when the ABA merged with the NBA,
yeah,
you know, the ABA, they brought over 4 teams,
right?
And then of the teams that didn't get brought over, 3 of the teams took payouts, and one team, the owners said, instead of taking a payout, what we want is 1/7 of, you know, the annual TV contract in perpetuity.
Yeah, it was like the equivalent of the Bobby Bonilla, you know, deal.
Greater than that, because it took until I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago to buy them out.
I do remember that.
Let me see. ABA.
And while he's looking that up, is it VENKMAN, where this might pique your interest a little bit? I think it was the Indiana Pacers. They had 2 guys pull guns on each other in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here. Oops. Crap. I mean, stupid ad blocker. But it was the guys who owned the Spirits of St. Louis.
Hmm.
And it took until 2014 to finally get a buyout deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they merged in '76, the Nets, Pacers, Spurs, and Nuggets came over, and the other 4 teams that were left, you know, which included the Kentucky Colonels, the Virginia Squires, and I'm blanking on whoever remaining. I know there was a Pittsburgh team, but I think they were defunct by then. Yeah, and it was the Spirits of St. Louis. And they said, instead of, you know, because they missed out, they wanted 1/7 of the national television revenue that each of the 4 teams coming in was to get in perpetuity forever. And in 1976, it was laughably small. But when the rights exploded, basically, it was estimated they got, over the course of the 40 years, $300 million.
Yeah, well, hell, at the time, I don't even think the NBA finals were televised live. So I'm sure when they proposed that, instead of a lump sum, they probably said, sure.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Yeah. Well, then, and here's the thing, too. So this was, again, 2014. So supposedly the buyout was a $500 million upfront payment to finally get them out of it.
God, that's and that book is, I said, it's some of the guys that played. One guy who was he was a life sentence waiting to happen.
Oh,
his name. I know if you
there could be multiple, but you might probably be talking about Marvin Barnes.
Marvin Barnes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And he played for St. Louis.
Yeah. Now, okay, is he the one that died like almost right after he quit playing? Because one of the guys disappeared and still hasn't been found.
No, I don't think it was Marvin Barnes. I think that was somebody else.
Okay, then Barnes, I think, was the one who was like killed not long after he stopped playing.
Not sure, because I mean, he did wind up playing in the NBA for a couple of years.
Let's see if I can find.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many great stories. I remember that one of the stories in there in Loose Balls, talked about, no, Marvin Barnes died in 2014, so it wasn't him.
It wasn't. All right.
But I mean, like one guy, wanted to get out of a game, so at the jump ball, he just hauled off and punched the other guy at the start to get ejected.
Yeah, damn! I now want to go read that again.
Yeah, I need to find my.
Yeah, there's a book on the history of the AFL, and all the pictures are football cards.
Mm.
And I was always a sports card collector too, and that's but some of those stories, I said that the teams would have to go through the field they were going to practice on to get all the rocks and broken glass off of it. The Broncos were so poor, they basically, I think, had to borrow practice uniforms from a college. And it was, and some of the training camp stories are just, like I said, snake infested, barracks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. That's another good read. I think it's just called History of the AFL.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, so an MK, I'm not surprised. It was inevitable. I hate it because I think that neither league should have the DH, but it's a losing battle. I right now I'm just hoping that we get rid of the Phantom Runner next year. I hate and despise that rule more than anything else in baseball right now.
Your request. Try again later.
What the heck was that?
What?
It's not mine.
Yeah, who's ordering hookers?
Well, LK has his phone near him. Maybe it's Siri.
Oh God, it was my watch.
Your watch was trying to order hookers?
Oh my God.
No comment. No, for some reason my watch tried to connect to my phone, I think, and do something weird. So I basically just use it to track my steps. It's a very old Samsung Gear watch, so it doesn't really work with anything else. Yeah.
Brandon, you read this? Did you read the ticker yet?
What's that?
You read the ticker yet?
Yeah. Oh, hey, while we've got this interlude, welcome, Dominic. How are you? Welcome to Sports Ball Talk.
I'm doing well. Okay, how about yourself? I just got back from a trip to Seattle.
Oh, nice. How's the weather up there?
That's fine. It was started off as unpredictable as over here in Oregon, but after today, it was all sunny.
No, that's good. Yeah, and I enjoyed going up to Seattle a bunch of years ago. I need to go back. So it's been let's just say it's been a long time since I've been up there.
I see.
Is that better?
I mean, I had a lot of fun. Well, so it was one trip. So one trip was, 20 years ago, where I went up there for, it was the first time that Manchester United came over to the United States for a series of exhibition matches. And so they played Celtic from the Scottish League in Seattle. And so with it being the middle of summer, I got to do that. Went to a Mariners game as well. It was great getting a hotel downtown that was walking distance of the two stadiums. Love just walking around downtown Seattle.
Oh, all right.
So now, and that was back when they used to have the Russian submarine parked in the Puget Sound area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really neat to visit and walk through.
Oh,
So
sounds like you had a blast.
yeah, it was a great time. So yeah, no, my watch is definitely in love with me.
Someone has to be.
Well, that have you told your watch that it'll never work because you're in love with your car?
No, I don't want to tell it that. I'll have to find a better way to let it down gently.
So is this gonna be our new thing? Sunday night, I'll host and you guys can just talk sports in the back.
I think Chrononaught might be onto something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't looked. Have we gained or lost
we were only at 15. We were talking about the movies and all stuff. And as soon as you started going into obscure like sports facts, you're like we're down to 11 now.
Oh, well, it happens. So Breen, have you watched Winning Time yet?
No, I don't have HBO.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing.
Okay. It's a fun show. You just have to realize that it's probably half BS.
Yep.
Well, I said I checked the IMDb to see, and apparently there's no James Worthy character in the show.
Well, probably. Well, I don't think we've got. Well, they haven't gotten there yet, so it's still in a.
That's a little harsh, Ron. Yeah.
Still in 1980. So
yeah, well, I checked the IMDb. I think had all the episodes. Like had characters that have been. It's like so and so is in 10 episodes or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think we'll get there until next season.
Okay.
Because we're still in Magic's rookie season.
Okay, because Worthy didn't get there till 82.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for the panel?
Let's see. Rhaegar, yes, I have. I did watch the movie Her. It's not very good. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, collect cards, non-sports related, like Mars Attacks. Well, I mean, God, growing up, I had, Star Wars cards, Empire Strikes Back cards, the occasional comic book series cards, but it was mostly baseball, football, basketball, later hockey in the 90s when that was a thing.
I guess I didn't really go on my way to collect them, but I remember the Hostess pies. Yes, you get Hostess pies back in the day.
You'd have been real young, okay, but did you ever get any of the wacky packages?
The wacky packages. Not sure.
You know what they were, right?
Well, they were like parodies of products, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I just can't remember.
The only cards I had were when Phantom Menace came around, they had those Star Wars cards going out. And then I never really got into baseball cards. My brother had a bunch, so I figured, eventually he'll have no room. You're like, here, you want some?
Yeah.
But he's got all the basketball cards. Sports Illustrated. Remember those? They come in the magazine, kids?
The card. Oh, well, that was, I was already too old for Sports Illustrated for kids. I remember buying Sports Illustrated all the time growing up.
But they had the cards in there. You can just tear them out there and little. And then I asked the other one guy was the Hostess guys for they were handing out the Ninja Turtle trading cards, which are now I saw for $30 some of those cards.
Yeah.
But
the first issue of Sports Illustrated in 1954 had card sheets in them. They weren't actual cards; they were just paper. But it was a perfect replica of the fronts and backs. And my dad would never let me cut him out of his copy. And then, when he passed, he willed it to me, and now I have it framed in my room, in my living room. But cards are still there.
No, that's awesome. So, I mean, here's my pride and joy. I can't remember if I've shown this off before. This is a 65 Roberto Clemente card that his maybe been out of this case once since I got it. God, now. Oh, at least 35 years ago.
Like my brother-in-law collects all of the older brewer card and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then my other kind of pride and joy, because again, it was one of those things where, growing up, your formative years are kind of like, whatever teams are popular when you're watching. And so I became a huge Steelers and Pirates fan, and I loved Pops. And
Nice.
so
That's cool.
And the Willie Stargell I did get in person. So this was either the first or second national card show. So this would have been late 80s. And it was at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. And I look at it, I look at it now where, my God, what I could have gotten in terms of autographs that day. I mean, I still spent and got Willie Stargell. I got Bob Gibson, Willie Mays. Actually, I don't think it's up here.
Okay, I'm gonna try to find some real quick too while you're looking.
No, it's buried someplace else. But Denny McLean. We'll have to wait for Breen to come back on that one. Denny McLean, Bob Feller, but it was like, oh yeah, I could have spent money and gotten Joe DiMaggio. I could have spent money and gotten Mickey Mantle. I mean, every major star that you could think of was at this show, because that was right when the whole kind of getting autographs thing kind of just was starting to explode.
True story. I lost my Babe Ruth card, my dad's Babe Ruth card, to a junkyard dog when we were playing baseball.
No, that sucks. Yeah, everybody's kind of got a story.
No, it's a Sandlot.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. So MK. Personally, for me, it's Bonds, because to me, Barry Bonds did nothing wrong. And I will go to my grave with that Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter I personally ever witnessed play the game.
It looks like even Black Cat's already got a grave lined up for you.
Yeah.
You go.
So, I don't know if you heard. I mean, one of the other autographs that I wound up getting at the show. So I remember I pre-ordered or pre-bought tickets to get Mays, Bob Gibson, and Stargell. And then while I was at the show, it was kind of like, oh wow, look, there's no lines. And so I wound up getting a ball signed by Denny McLean, and also got a picture autographed by Bob Feller.
Did you get Denny to play a little song on the organ? I have that album.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say get Denny to place a
bet for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember the baseball song? Yeah, Talking Baseball.
Oh yeah. Oh, God, the classic. Yes.
Okay. Here's what I said. There's Willie.
I know you're gonna do this.
Hold on, we got a full size at Willie.
Yeah.
And I'm out. Later, people.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
There's Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey and the Duke.
There's the Duke.
Nice.
And then after that, they say Big Clue. So there's Big Clue.
Oh, nice one.
So which are the ones that were taken from you?
Not these, because they're still here. Hank Aaron rookie from 54.
Oh.
Ted Williams from 54. 53 Pee Wee Reese, Bowman. Frank Robinson's rookie card. I think there was a 54 Willie Mays also. I said there was 7 cards, and they were about 5,000 in value.
The thing is that it's like you remember that just like he remembers his Disney posters being sold at rummage sale. You know exactly which ones.
I'm gonna guess mine are worth a little more.
I know, but it's just funny. Like you guys
but the sad thing was they could have been, 1987 Commons, and the zip heads that broke into my house wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. And okay, when the cop filled out the police report, You had a Hank Aaron card and a Ted Williams. The police report said my 54 Hank Williams was stolen. And that's when I knew I wasn't getting any of it back. But
oh god,
here's one. This is a 1967 David Concepcion card from a Venezuela set. 3 years before he made it to the majors.
That is awesome.
See, I shouldn't show these because now it's going to make me not want to sell my collection, but I need that room. But yeah, I said I mean, it's literally the entire room. I mean, I have before the break-in, I had a complete set of 54 tops.
Wait, hold that card back up once again. I want to see it again.
What, the Concepcion?
Yeah.
Up that by 49 so I can at least break even. But yeah, I have the 55 Roberto Clemente rookie card.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and I got my nephew a 62 Roberto Clemente.
So
that was my birth year. And I had an extra one, and that was his favorite player as a kid.
So these are ones you collected, and then you went out and you actually bought some more for yourself?
No, how much do you want for the 55 Clemente?
He said $49.
That's probably worth close to $1,000 now.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, it's in real good shape, but not perfect. But no, Venk, I collected as a kid. I was into cards before comics.
My brother did.
And I sold them all when I was like 16. And when my dad passed, we came into money. So I kind of felt, because I remember I used to, talk baseball with him. So I had a way to like reconnect. But since I don't do anything half-ass, I spent God knows how much. I mean, I am my card collection is worth 6 figures. And I pretty much paid damn near close to that for them.
Well, the good news is you can go towards car parts now, maybe 1 or 2.
Well, as now I said, find somebody, I mean, I know the market's kind of bounced back for that stuff, but, if I had not done that, but I already had all the, big comic books at that time.
You go out to card shows at all?
I used to go to card shows, yeah.
My brother-in-law is still doing that now. He comes up this way as like his card.
If you've never collected, it's hard to, if you've never collected, they're just a bunch of guys on pieces of cardboard. But if you're a fan of the sports, I mean, there's something about them that, I can't. There's no way to make other people understand.
Something you and your dad did, sentimental behind it, so I can understand that really a lot. Something you did it growing up doing, and just, and then it's whether it's you either by yourself or it's just something you did and you're going to pick them up again because you know what? I miss having those and I love the memories you're attached to them.
Yeah, and that's that's got a lot to do with it, but it's like comic books are something that you can read, but a card, other than the stats on the back, it's just that's all it is. But if you're into it, now I mean, if I showed off my collection, it would it would hold your interest just because as a collector, it's like the game recognizes game thing. It's so overwhelming that you have to, it's like you have to. It's like you got to you respect that anything that is.
I would say card collecting in the sense is it's basically like the thrill of going to get signed. You get the card signed or finding it.
Never got an autograph in my life.
Really, never got it. Oh, nice.
There's a story behind that. 1970. My brother and I are at a Reds game. They were playing the Dodgers, and we were trying to get autographs. We had little programs out. Don Sutton takes Phil's, signs it, snubs me. So I said, "Fuck you, Don Sutton," and up yours, Los Angeles Dodgers, and up yours, autographs.
Well,
Did you say the right to say
2 out of 3 is not bad, but
No,
you know.
that part, the stopping right after my brothers is true, but I was never into autographs. One of the few hobbies I've managed to avoid.
I was never into it, but I mean, I'd go with them and like go stuff and like meeting the baseball player and stuff, you know, the signing stuff. They're the free ones at the mall. A lot of the Brewers would do that, and then you also get that the football players would do that too sometimes.
Yeah, in the
Especially
late
some of the
60s,
Green Bay Packers are always at the Coles.
like in the late 60s, when I was a kid, there was this company called Partridge Meats, and they would do card sets. But by the late, like by 1969, they just put out these things in with like Johnny Bench, and they got him to, you know, he would make appearances. You'd bring it to him, and he would sign it. Because in those days, even the stars weren't making that much money.
Yep.
So this was a way for them to make extra money. And I said, nowadays, you know, like I said, if it wasn't mandated by, you know, the teams or the commissioners, there's not a player in baseball that would sign for anybody.
Yeah. Like I said, it was the fun for me.
Well,
Part
very
when I
few, I
was
should say.
younger,
Very few.
when I was in my early teens, I'd go with my brother-in-law and stuff. You know, we'd go out and just meeting the players. You know, and just it was kind of cool. I mean, I had no idea who some of these guys were, but like just collecting autographs and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I have anything really fancy or all, but it was just the memories. You know, just going around doing that is what it made it fun. You know.
Oh yeah,
That was for me because I have a baseball upstairs, but for the life of me, I can't remember who signed it. So I'm like, how do I get this? Because I don't have a certificate or anything like that. I just have random ball I go around and people sign.
Now, if you're a kid, getting someone to sign something, that's different. But I could never justify paying for an autograph. Like
I never paid
at a convention.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay, you know, Joe Schmo creator $100 to sign some. I'm going to take $100 and buy comics with it. That was always my mentality.
The only person to ever give money to would be Frank Cho because I get those blank covers. So it's for the side. I'll be the only one. I'm like Neil Adams. I'm good. Frank Miller. No.
Yeah.
Frank Cho, can you draw something for me? Yes.
So again, as I mentioned, here's another autograph I've had for 30 odd plus years. So that's the Bob Feller one there. So, and again, I still never forget. It was one of those things of, you know, walking around the show and, you know, seeing various lines, and it was like, you know, there was nobody, you know, at Bob Feller's table, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, this is great, and one of the greatest left-handed pitchers of all time. You get this is where, you know, again, being, you know, knowing baseball history, you know,
right-handed, but
right hand, yeah, okay, right hand. Well, one of the
there's
greatest.
only two hands, so you had a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of somebody else.
Warren Spahn,
probably. You know, and so just, you know, having that opportunity to, you know, meet him and, you know, say, hey, you know, thank you, and you know, get the autograph. So, and this is for sports cards. This is truly my pride and joy because it's such a unique set. And so I'm sure you probably recognize this. This is the oh shoot, what is it? My pride and joy, and I can't remember, but it's the 68. Yeah.
How many binders do you have?
Not that many. I've got like 3 boxes and, you know, my storage locker.
That was my older brother, 6 years older than me. He's all in the sports. I'm the person. I'm opposite sports. I'm comic books. He's the sports guy, and he has like 6 or 7 binders of just cards, baseball cards. I said,
let's see. Put that back up there. Let's see. Mike McCormick, Tim McCarver, Ron Santo, Tony Gonzalez, Frank Howard, George Scott, Dick Allen, Jimmy Wynn.
Yep. And then of course the biggies in there.
Gene Alley, Rick Monday.
Wow.
There's a glare. Al Kaline.
Yeah, Al Kaline.
Rusty Staub, Rod Carew, Pete Rose, Joe Torre.
You know what?
Cepeda.
Hold that next to your face.
No.
That's all right. Look at Pete Rose.
Yeah, no, my jaw's not that square.
I was gonna say, you know, Bill Cower maybe.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you saw like on the first page, that's where the mantle and the Aaron.
Yeah, Matty Alou, I named a turtle after him.
Yep, that's
Mickey
cool.
Mantle, Carl Yastrzemski, Hank Aaron, Harmon Killebrew, Roberto Clemente, Frank Robinson, Willie Mays.
Yeah,
that's the big boys. Yeah, I have that set.
Yeah, and it's kind of a pride and joy because it was one of those things, where going to the comic book card shop, happened to see a couple of these cards in the case one day, and I was like, oh, these are kind of cool, and bought them for like $3 or something, and then just slowly started getting them, and it took me, this was pre-internet, so it took going to a few conventions and probably a good 10 years to actually complete that set.
Late 60s, early 70s inserts are so cool. And like in 69, they had the little rub off patch, or not patches, they were clear and
not the red and blue.
No, they were just little, they were only like this big.
Like the tattoos?
So I guess kind of, but they weren't, because they did tattoos a few years prior.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what they were called. They also did the stamp albums.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the posters and the decal edge cards in 69. That was all in 1 year. Then the next year they had the scratch offs where you could play the games. And they had the posters again.
Yeah.
And then 71 they did the decals again, but they were way more rare. I've only seen a couple of those, and I was very heavy into this hobby for a long time. But yeah, those things, I said that those 68 game cards, those are. Do you know what that was basically a callback to?
Wasn't there a red blue set like from the
51?
50s?
First top set was red and blue, and it was more or less game pieces.
Hey, what's going on, Demon? Let's talk a little sports here. I know on a comic book channel,
but I mean, pretty much like my sports collecting stuff is, I haven't bought cards in decades, just because it started to get too complicated, and I was always bad at trying to figure out, what's going to be hot, popular, or whatever, so
the only thing in card collecting in the last 20 years that's been worth it, or Topps would do these heritage sets. You familiar with those at all?
I think I've seen them.
Well, they would do like the first year they did was 2001, but they had the 1952 design. Only they were the modern players, and they've been doing those ever since. They're up to like 1973 now. I think those are fascinating because back then the cards looked different every year. Now they don't even bother with that.
Yeah,
and then they'll do.
Again, just like comic books, everything's chase cards and variants and pieces of a jersey or an autograph or whatever, and it's like,
But if you held up the last 10 years of the regular Topps sets, I don't know if you could tell 1 year from the next, but in the 60s, they all distinct. Oh yeah. And
well, I mean, even up through 70s, 80s, they all look distinct. I mean, obviously some have more better design than others. Like the 86 is about, I think it's the 86 set is about as plain as you can possibly get.
I was gonna say 87, even more so.
Well, was 87 the kind of baseball bat?
Yeah,
the like black top and bottom.
That was I think that was 86, but the 87 would look like a wood grain back.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of looked like a poor man's 62 set.
Yeah. I'm trying to look and see if I had a. Yeah. But yeah, that was back in the day. So. Oh, your hubby collects strategy games, huh, Marania? That's that's another interesting rabbit hole to go down. I mean, that's kind of like what I am with the sports games. I mean, they're basically strategy games, and as I say, this company play.com has now become kind of like my latest one. But I've played all the major ones. Strat, Status Pro back in the day, Appa, might Pursue the Pennant, Diamond Mine. So,
this has been an hour of sports talk brought to you by the
good Lord, 3 hours. Yeah.
Well, I would say, all kidding aside, okay, it's very nice to have finally met somebody in this group that that can go toe to toe in sports.
Why do you think I'm moderator right now?
I said it's
yeah. Although, God, it's getting harder and harder to remember stuff. I hate it.
Well, it's one of the great things about. I mean, it sucks that the comic book industry, took a header, into bilge-filled waters, but it allowed me to meet a bunch of great people that know a ton about comics, whether it's this group or the Fossils, or whatever. But sports, I said there's my brother, but there's not that many people that they're that into it, and from like a historical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I thoroughly enjoy talking sports with you. So that's
Well, now all I got to do is get you to say buy a Stratomatic set, and then we can really jam the stream out and have an online game. I'm sure people would love seeing that. Yeah, come on. Okay, 1, 2, 4. It's a ground ball. Yeah, it's an out. Okay, 6-3.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking for the exit.
I'll be the dungeon master. You guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Slitherclaw, Axis and Allies. Yeah, and I actually have had and still have. I'm gonna kick myself here. I can't remember the name. It was the modern at the time, the modern version of Axis and Allies, and it's known because it has Saddam Hussein on the cover. But it was the one basically where you either played the United States or you played one of the 3 opposing armies that was attacking and trying to invade the United States. So it was an awesome game. It was the idea that the U.S. basically kind of got too big for its britches, and the rest of the world got ticked off, and so you had the Southern forces come through Mexico, you had the Eastern forces from Japan, and you had the European forces from the East.
I want to address this
oh my God,
this ass who just showed up in the chat.
Yes,
the Dodgers playing the Reds at this point is like that commercial where the girl goes, "I'll take Barkley." It's not even worth your time anymore, Yule. They're pathetic.
Yeah. Well, let's see, Yule. I have to look this up here. Let's take a look at the standings.
There's a link if anyone wants to jump on and talk sports.
Yeah, remember the Giants are tied with the.
Dang it, we're tied. I thought we were.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they've already played 4 of their games against the Reds. You still have all of yours left. And trust me, they're going to lose 110.
Yule, if you want to jump on and school these boys in sports.
We did play 3 games against the Marlins already, so.
Yeah, no.
The Marlins are the 27 Yankees compared to the Reds.
Yeah.
This is 10 games in, and I'm already confident saying this is the worst Reds team in my lifetime, and I've seen them lose 100. 83 was terrible.
Yeah.
82 was terrible.
Wow, you're not kidding. I didn't realize. Wow, they're 2-8 and they've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah,
they are going to lose 110.
They started off so well, though. I mean, they started off with that great win against Atlanta.
Yeah, they split that series, but I said if you go out there and that, and I said when the 143 average is in the high end of the, I'm sorry, right in the middle of the lineup. When you've got 4 guys hitting under 143, that's not a major league team. You know, and unfortunately, the only way that, you know, anything happens is if Castellini says something racist, which I'm rooting for on a daily basis now.
Yeah, I am looking at your at the numbers here, and ooh boy,
They got the 30th best record in baseball.
Yeah,
for the 3rd day in a row.
7 home runs in 9 games. Oof. Yeah. So I mean that's So it'll be interesting. Can't wait to see that first Dodgers Giants matchup. There you'll
was sniping. He's probably already gone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
No, I said I want Malley to at least pitch well because I want the Red Sox to get Malley and Castillo because there's no reason for the Reds to have them.
Well, you know. Let's see. My finest hour took a transport. Got jumped by a battleship. 2 places subs.
Do you sponsor a Reds fan? Donate at Ko-Fi. Engeltine from I Love Comics.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Slitherclaw there, his finest hour is either Axis and Allies or Risk.
All money will not go to Eric, but it will use Eric as a pawn to get money.
The sponsor is a Reds fan.
No, MK, this isn't being like early season crabby. They're just bad everywhere. They've got about an 11-man bullpen. 7 or 8 of them would not make another team in baseball. And there's several position players for the Reds that would not get picked up by anybody else. This is historic in the making.
Well, there's always got to be a 30th worst team every year.
And remember, according to the owner's son, we're just lucky we have that, and we should thank them. What a complete asshole.
Hey, could be worse. They could have relegation in the major league. So
I wish they would. Put them down there with those soccer teams that can't win it. Yeah,
the Reds go to AAA. No, that'd only be if there were independent leagues again. But
you guys follow soccer at all?
Oh
no,
yeah,
no, I watch sports.
I've always wondered how popular soccer is because I always see the video games they put out, but I'm like, other than that, I don't know anybody personally says like, "Hey, bro, you gonna watch a soccer game today?"
Well, soccer's never going to be as popular in this country for one simple reason: we like points. I said the smartest thing football ever did was assign 6 points to a touchdown, because 42-35 seems like a high-scoring game, when in reality, it's 6-5.
Yeah. Well, but that was kind of a variation. They took rugby scoring from there. So
and also, you know what else football doesn't have? You know, a wall in front of the end zone, or people standing on the goalpost that can bat balls down. I said, goalies. I said, if you took the goalies out of soccer and hockey, interest would go through the freaking roof.
Oh God!
Especially hockey. They get those freaking Michelin men stand in front of the goals.
But I thought
how you ever get a
Slitherclaw. Yes, Fortress America. That's the name. That was the one I was talking about. Yeah, no, I still have my copy of that with all the pieces to it.
But seriously, Brian, I thought women's soccer was like a popular sport. That's why they want to get paid more.
Yeah.
Well, so to answer your question, yes, I'm a European football fan as well.
Soccer fan.
I follow no football.
it's soccer.
It's soccer here. It's soccer
football
here.
Is only you with the pigskin.
Yeah, you mean American gridiron? No, anyways. So no, I glommed onto Manchester United 30 years ago. just because they happened to be on TV when I first started watching.
Wasn't that Manchester with that stadium caught on fire?
80s.
There was a soccer game where one of the stands caught on fire.
Well, there's been various things. I don't think that happened at Old Trafford. You know, so and right now we're in a drought in Manchester United. Our greatest manager retired a bunch of years ago, and they haven't been able to get their footing since he left.
You know why he retired? Sports sucks.
He couldn't pull American Girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, you know, your beloved Red Sox own hated Liverpool. So
no, I know. I think they tried. They took a run at Man U, I believe, at one point.
They may have. They got beat out by the Glazers.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Red Sox ownership. I'll be honest. They're not. They suck. They go out and spend billions on yachts and soccer teams, and then lowball players that they shouldn't be lowballing. And then when the Yankees spend money, they cry about it. Now, there are some teams that may have a bit of a gripe about what the Yankees spend. The Red Sox ain't one of them. So, like I said, it's one of those. They're my hometown, so I cut them some slack. But in the last 20 years, they've been less classy than the Yankees, and that's saying something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. So, of what you'd say, arguably the 5 largest, most well-known English football teams, 4 of them are owned by American, or I should say 3 are currently owned by American interests. The 4th one is about, as far as I know, is about to be bought by an American interest. And the 5th is owned by Arab sheiks. But the Glazers own Manchester United. Stan Kroenke owns the majority of Arsenal. John Henry and his group own Liverpool. Tom Ricketts, who owns the Cubs, is about to purchase Chelsea from Abramovich, who's forced to sell because of the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. And then Manchester City is owned by one of the Saudi sheiks.
Yeah, because they never do anything bad over there.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, in terms of how many American businessmen interests have bought into, specifically kind of the English league. I mean, it's seen as the premier soccer league.
Yeah, I'm sure the Cubs fans loved watching the Cubs get rid of anybody making more than minimum wage while Ricketts was raising the capital to buy a soccer team. Anyway, kids, on that note, I think I'm going to sign off.
Yeah.
It's getting a little late here on the East Coast.
Yeah, probably should wrap it up here and get ready.
And my boys are on at 11
for the week. Your boys?
Remember the Red Sox are on at 11 tomorrow because that marathon they run, Boston Marathon, I guess, is tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
And they always play.
Day?
What's that?
Is it Patriots Day tomorrow?
It must be whatever they do. Because tomorrow's the 11th or the 11 o'clock game. Which
okay.
They never win that game, but it's still nice to have something to watch at 11 in the morning.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. MK. I definitely know which team has the highest payroll in baseball. Because it's the best team money can buy. Those damn Dodgers.
Tomorrow is Boston Marathon.
Just remember, they haven't won a World Series in an 162 game schedule since 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Cling to that because that might change this year. But yes.
All right, kids, and people who are night owls. You guys are still awake watching us. 10 people. That's
hey, way to go! See,
sports are.
We need to come up with you know, for
Yeah,
those
there's
10
nothing to
folks-
do with the fact that it's 1:30 in the freaking morning. It's because we were talking sports. Get out of here.
Yeah,
That's what I
you know,
said, sports.
well, you know what? For those 10 folks, we need to come up with our own quad candlestick.
You lost
So-
your candlestick there.
Okay, well, so what it was, you know, because Candlestick, as Breen knows, is notorious for just being a cold prison-like ballpark.
Yeah.
And so when there was a weekday extra inning night game, if you stayed till the end of the game, they would hand you out a little pin. And the pin said, you know, CROIX, a Candlestick.
All
And
right.
so it was like a survivor's pin.
Nice.
Eric and LK need a sports show. I said stream. I'd watch his MK. Well,
Yeah.
you and all your friends can watch them. Maybe you guys will get a channel soon.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'll even host it on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, and there was nothing like freezing your butt off in the middle of June at a night game at Giant Candlestick.
Wednesday night sports, Monday night sports. Oh,
Yeah, it can't be Wednesday, obviously.
well,
Yeah.
That's fossil night.
Yeah. What day would you guys even do? Mondays? No, not Mondays.
No.
Yeah, it's fun to break out in this once in a while. I mean, yeah, I know it bores the rest of you guys to death, but
Oh, this week in sports, Sunday night follies.
anyway,
All right.
yeah, get us out of here before this turns into an Eglantinian goodbye.
Yeah.
It did 40 minutes ago. Actually, an hour and a half ago. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys come back tomorrow night at Angleton Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it's better than comic drama.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Good night, kids.
Good night, Gracie.